Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk. Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. Bring your body armor.
I ran into my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's good to be back and alive.
Which is that in order of importance?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's good to be home.
Right.
Doc, Beardy, and I back from the desert.
Oh, that's right.
We made it.
That was a good one.
I'm glad to hear that one of you three, wasn't one of the ones who ran into the Burning Man, and died.
I thought about it.
Yeah?
But I was like...
There's a couple times I was worried about you.
It's like touching the eye of God.
I just thought it was a shitty way to go.
Yeah. Well, especially he didn't even die in the man. He died in the hospital.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, people were trying to say like, oh, it's quick because like your nerves all get singed quickly and shit.
Nope.
You know what's quick?
And maybe that's true. First of all, I don't think that's true.
No.
But let's just assume for a second it is.
Right.
No, that fucker died 12 hours later.
Yeah. Right. Well, also just the sentence is stupid. Your nerves get singed. Well, that hurts. So
yeah,
it's quick, but it fucking hurts.
Yeah. You ever cauterized anything?
Yeah.
It hurts until it doesn't.
Right.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't hurt is a 22 up the fucking chin.
I get nervous around any open flames, and that's a big open flame.
Well, you are a tinderbox.
Yes, right.
Yeah, you can go up any time.
Yeah, I'd be on fire before I even got into the pile of rubble.
Absolutely.
Well, they'd have more to grab, trying to keep you out of there.
It's just such a dumb thing to do. And now they'll make all sorts of regulations about it. They'll put fences around everything. And you know my opinion on this stuff. I figure we're better off without you.
That's true.
If you do that sort of thing, you run in, whether it's just because you're depressed or not, honestly, I don't give a shit. Yes, we're better off without you.
Moment.
Also, I don't even think that's the case with that guy. I think this was one of those cases where he, was all zonked out on whatever and was
Probably.
like, ooh, I'm going to go see God. And then it's like, well, then even more so.
Yeah.
You know?
Why go in and get him?
Good riddance.
He got himself in there.
Yeah.
Let him hang out in there.
Let him be.
Yeah.
I'm going to go summon the king. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Also, they kind of fucked him over by getting him out because he probably would have been dead within 30 seconds. And instead, he fried. Then they bring him out and he lives for another 12 hours. The poor fuck.
Looking like Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
And alive.
Yeah. In that order.
Yes.
All right. Well, we got a great show for you today, as usual. It is brought to you by the fine folks over at More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out, and they bring you this session and every session we do. Have been for years. You can get all kinds of great things over at morebeer.com. Pretty much everything you need. In fact, I still kind of solely shop at More Beer because it's easy and they have everything I need. So go check them out. Today on the program, we've got Cloudburst Brewing out of Seattle, Washington. In the studio with us, Steve Luke is here. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Did you come down from Seattle just for this show, or you had something else to do?
Just for this. No, I'm kidding.
You had other shit to do. Yeah. What were you down here for?
I had a wedding outside Petaluma, and then I wanted to see my old boss's old new to him digs.
Yeah.
In downtown San Francisco too.
Which brewery is that?
Magnolia.
Oh yeah, great brewery.
Yeah.
So you saw the new over the dog patch, the new digs down there.
Yeah.
Nice. I hear that they
the new Belgium brewing company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it. I didn't realize it was a New Belgium.
New Elysian.
Elysian.
Yeah, they don't have. I don't think they actually have a real name just yet. But it's New Belgium. It's Dick Cantwell from Elysian, and then it's Garrett from Oud Beersel.
So
that's
three
right.
people invested in Magnolia to keep Magnolia going. They're not changing Magnolia's name.
They're not changing. I don't.
Yet.
Yeah, they're keeping. They're like consolidating all the milds and bitters to maybe like one mild and one bitter.
Got it. Yeah.
At a time.
Yeah.
And then some new things too. They're going to be installing a cool ship.
Okay.
I think they have like 6 voters on the way, kind of a thing, in a separate space.
Nice. Okay. So there's going to be some other brewing going on in there.
Yes.
But we don't know what that company is called yet.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. All I had heard was that that Dick Cantwell had gotten involved to help out Dave McLean there at Magnolia, who has a great product and a great brand, just got himself into a little bit of trouble with the amount of money they spent on that new brewery.
Yes.
And so I had only heard that they were working on helping him with that. I didn't hear about this other brewery part. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of brewers in one building, so...
True. A lot of egos there. Shit could get weird.
A lot of ideas.
Yeah. And Dave, he's so passive, too. He's like, I don't know. Just turn up the dead.
How many duck hearts can we put in it? That's all I care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Duck hearts and banjo solos. That's my life.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the studio. We're happy that you came here to visit us. We're changing the format just a little bit tonight. We're gonna dive right into the story of Steve and Cloudburst Brewing, because he's got a flight to catch this evening. So we're going to reverse things a little bit, which means we've already got your beer in our glass, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, give us a little bit of your background. Now you're the founder of Cloudburst, but I was sort of looking through your resume, and you've worked at a ton of great breweries in your relatively short career, to be honest. What, 12 years, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I started, sweeping floors at Allagash Brewing in between junior and senior years of college out there, and had such a great time with that crew that kind of decided that I wanted to stay in the industry ever since. So
okay,
some breweries lasted longer than others, and I think like most people kind of do as far as fits go. But Allagash being my first job. I was washing kegs at Captain Lawrence Brewing Company in Pleasantville, New York.
Nice.
Took a job with Harpoon for about a year on the marketing side. Realized I hated the marketing side.
Okay.
Went back to production with Allagash, and they taught me how to brew. I worked my way up onto the brew deck there.
Great.
Then took a head brewing job in Connecticut at a small pub.
Cambridge,
outside of
right?
Harvard. Yeah, Cambridge House Brew Pub.
I know this place. They make good beer. Yeah, they make really good beer there.
Yeah, and then from there moved west.
Okay.
So prior to starting Cloudburst, I was at Elysian for about 5 years.
Okay.
Kind of running their smaller experimental 10 hectoliter system.
Got it. Were you there? How long ago did they get bought out now? I can't even remember.
Yes. So I was there. I was there when that happened, and we kind of had an inkling something was going down just before.
You did.
And at that point, I was already raising capital for my own project. But once that sale went public and we started, sitting down with suits, it was it became clear that I need to finish raising capital and get the hell out of there as soon as I could. So
got it. And Cloudburst is in Seattle. So after all that moving around, East Coast to West Coast, everything, it sounds like you really liked the Seattle scene.
Yes.
Okay.
Seattle's home.
That's home now. Okay. Was it home before and you went back, or?
No. I'm from New England.
Okay. Got it. So it became home.
It became home.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I think now the landscape has changed, but even, back in 08 and 09, I mean, New England, the scene in New England hadn't really developed due to a lot of, the distribution laws. So there weren't a lot of small producers even when I was out there, and it was kind of starting to get there. But you could see, I mean, Maine in particularly, they've got a great craft beer scene now, but 10 years ago, you had to sign on with 3 distributors in Portland to kind of get your product out there. You couldn't self-distribute, and it really kind of stunted things.
Trying to make money that way.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that to the table, because I always used to think, even back in the maybe about 5 years or so after we started. I'm from Connecticut too, and so I'd go back and visit though, and it seemed like breweries were popping up everywhere except New England, and it was always so strange. I actually thought it was the market. I thought maybe there was a lot of bad beer being drank in New England, but when I was a kid, and probably even still. And I thought that was the cause. I didn't realize it was a lot of the distributor issues.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that and kind of that mentality. I mean, you see it in Seattle and Denver and Portland, Oregon, that these people that live there really take pride in things that are made there and things that are independently owned, and supporting small businesses because I know that guy, or that I'm neighbors with him, and that feeling didn't really exist when I was brewing in New England.
Okay.
And I think it does now, and I think that's a lot of people. It's great, support small businesses and locally independently owned things, but New England always seemed a little bit smaller, or at least slower to kind of catch on to that trend. Just growing up there, I don't know. My parents didn't give a shit about if something was made down the street when I was growing up there. And now they do, but
so Vermont's obsession with Vermont is new within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Vermont's the exception.
You can't even say Vermont without giving him $1, I think.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders collects it.
Okay.
Yeah.
At your door.
Vermonters are certainly different, though. I feel like you can't. I mean,
they will kill you.
Or maybe it's
they'll knit you a fucking sweater.
What'd you say about Vermont?
Yeah. Don't say anything bad about Vermont.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So Seattle's home now, and how long has Cloudburst been open?
We've been open. We opened the tasting room January of 2016, so almost 2 years.
Nice.
It's in a small 120-year-old building just north of the market. We sourced a lot of things, as many things used as we could. So I'm on a used, oversized 10-barrel brew house. But all of our tanks are 15s and 30s.
Okay.
Some are used, some are not. Some are new. Just because I was looking for a used 15-barrel brew house, and it was hard to find, and this 10-barrel one opened up in our home state, so kind of just took that deal.
Will you brew twice to fill them up sometimes, or what?
So right now we're fairly inefficient because our 15-barrel tanks are filled with 10, and our 30-barrels fermenters are filled with 20. And,
I see.
It's just 2 of us on the production side, so it's myself and another brewer, and we do everything from rock, paper, scissoring over who gets to wash kegs.
Right.
All the fun stuff in between. So.
And you mentioned raising capital. Do you mind if I ask the methods just for our listeners?
For sure. Yeah, I love talking about it because as a brewer, I never made more than $40,000 ever in a year.
Right.
And so you have no savings.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for a brewer to start a brewery when you're like, I have nothing, no money, nothing.
You have the opposite of savings, basically.
Yeah.
You have debt.
Yes, lots of it.
Yeah.
And so, but luckily with my position at Elysian, I had created beers that, became successful and were, built up and distributed. So I could point to people like, I made this beer and I made that beer. And,
okay.
You had a resume.
I had a resume. And so I ended up selling 36% equity of the company to about 18 investors that were all, friends of friends and things like that. So no one really owns more than 4% other than myself. It's 4%. So
got it.
Just to kind of diffuse the power, a sort of seeing what went down with that Elysian buyout certainly kind of changed the way I wanted to structure my company, and so that no one else has a say.
Yeah.
On the product side or on the operations side and the business side, it's kind of like
smart.
So I raised $250,000 that way, and most of it was like $10,000 to $20,000 investment.
Okay.
And then turned around with that cash on hand and took out an SBA loan for $350,000.
Now, that's what I was going to ask, if that sort of loan is even available, because those are hard to get, too. I guess if you have a lot of equipment, that's the type of funding they like to do.
The banks like assets, yes.
Okay.
Because, at the end of the day, they can say, you're not doing well, and at least we can resell this and get our money back.
Yeah.
You can burn everybody else that you've been dealing with, but
they're first in line.
Yeah,
we tried to get a loan for our second hop grenade, and we had 2 years of profitability here, and we went to the same bank that we use. I mean, just everything looked great, and even the asshole, was helping us fill out the paperwork. He's like, "Oh, I'm telling you, everything looks great." And at the end, they were like, "Nah, we're not going to do it." And we were really, it was kind of boggling to us because we thought, well, we kind of lined up all the things you said, like we've got enough years of financials, you can see what we do, the whole thing. And anyway, the bottom line was there's not enough assets in a bar. Like even the cold box doesn't move anywhere. Like we don't have shit, and without recoverable assets, they just won't touch
Everything's
you.
nailed down.
Yeah. So, but hey, okay. So great. So you were able to get an SBA loan, small business loan, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which is subsidized somewhat, lower interest rates and all that, or what?
Yeah, interest rate was around 6%.
Okay.
And since then, we've actually been able to roll that over into like a conventional loan with our bank, and luckily, our bank was Elysian's old bank too. So it's not like they were unfamiliar with the industry and
got it.
The operating costs and stuff like that. So we really benefited from having a relationship and having them actually know what's going on as a brewery opens. And so now our interest rate is mid 4s, and we took it from a 10-year to a 7-year, and
great.
We really lucked out with the bank.
Well, the bank had a good experience when the Elysian deal went through. They got their money, right?
Yeah.
They actually were kind of bummed about it because
they were making
paid off quick.
Yeah, the loan was instantly paid off. And they had
lost all that interest. Yeah. So you started the company with just about $600,000.
$600,000, and I mean we ran out of money right before we opened up, as most places do.
Yeah.
And we had an angel come in to kind of foot us another low interest loan just to kind of get open, and we just paid off the last payment on that.
Okay.
So,
and at that point, was it we're ready to go? We just can't even afford raw ingredients? Was it that kind of end?
It was more that it was getting closer than I wanted to get. I mean, and part of it was the contingency budget. You always have this contingency budget, and when you're in the industry for that long, you have a pretty solid idea of what things are going to be costing you all the way out. But
yeah,
in our old building, we knew we were going to be taking a risk with, being in this space that might have some secrets, lying below. And it turned out that the slab that most of our building is on is, 60 years old and not load bearing. It can't handle, full 30 barrel fermenters. So we had to, cut and haul it all out.
The entire slab, basically.
All the load bearing slabs. So about half of the square footage of the building.
Okay.
And you're like, well, there goes my $30,000 into this floor.
Yeah.
And so,
it's always the goddamn floor.
It's always you never think about the floor until it drops out and you're like, fuck the floor.
Yeah, it's always the floor. Ours too, we had to rip this whole stupid floor out. I don't even know why. It's always the floor.
And you got a better one too, huh?
Bunch of fat customers.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so there's your contingency.
So there's that. So I don't know. A lot of people say one of the main reasons for businesses, startup businesses for failing is because they run out of money and they get open and they try to make things work without having enough flexibility in those first couple months. Yeah. And so that's kind of where it's like, let's just take a step back and try to get a last chunk of $50,000 just so no paychecks are bouncing, and we're going to be able to buy grain, and we're going to be able to pay rent and things like that. And it just came together just in the nick of time.
Okay. So you got brewing, and man, I was looking at your website, I want to talk about the beer in our glass here in a second, but you made like 1 million beers in the last 2 years. I'm just, guys, you don't even have to read it. I'm
Literally,
just gonna
probably, right?
I'm just going to keep scrolling, still scrolling, and scrolling.
All those are beers?
Those are all well, they're listed under past beers. So you've got current beers. Present beers on tap. By the way, you can go to cloudburstbrew.com. Cloudburstbrew.com. Check it out. Then you've got your future beers section, which is about the size of most people's just menu.
Current beers, yeah,
on tap.
Then you've got past beers, and that's what I'm talking about, where you've just made a lot of different beers over the couple years.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
that has a slant up towards you didn't have a hop contract, so you just made different beers because you had different hops all the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have lots of hops on contract. Too many hops on contract, like most people do right now.
Yeah. Okay,
but to us, it was kind of more of this by design. Like this was from what I was doing at Elysian Fields, was always coming up with new recipes. And that was kind of keeping it fresh. And in Seattle and in the market as a whole, now there's not so much loyalty anymore, and people always walk in to probably hear and say, "Well, what's new? What haven't I tried yet?" Yeah, and so. And that includes ourselves. And so when we were kind of thinking of the concept, it ended up being like, well, why don't we just, never really do anything twice? With the exception of one, our slightly bastardized German Pilsner, we always keep that on tap because myself and our other brewer came from a production background, and at least we get one beer back, every 2 months to tweak and improve upon it and kind of get it exactly where we wanted at that time. Because, you do miss making something consistent over and over again.
Or if you just nail one that you love, and you're like, well...
But that's the beauty. I mean, it's nice to take something away that you loved or other people loved, and people just say, what the fuck?
And be nice to us. Maybe we'll put it back.
Remember when you were happy?
Right in here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just take it away from you for no reason. You like that? Give it back.
Right. It always tripped me out when brewers, like home brewers, are used to making 1 million beers. Right. They open a production brewery and they become successful and they brew 6 beers.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And maybe a seasonal. This is maybe late 90s, early 2000s, whatever. And it's like that, to me, in my head, I was like, that's got to be confining.
Yeah.
And I think that the way Steve's doing it, that's the spirit of home brewing as we know it, where we're just making a bunch of shit. I mean...
What did you want that week?
The first 5 years of probably everybody home brewing, you never made the same beer twice. As you go in the shop...
You brewed oatmeal stout for 7 years.
Not... sort of. I mean, it took me about 4 or 5 years to go, you know what I'm going to do instead of making pale beers?
Okay.
Is try to figure this John out.
So you had that beginning phase too, where you just made everything.
Yeah, and I think everybody does because you're excited about it. And to me, that just it smacks of a lot of passion, and except the fucking Bone Clouds and Harmony. Bone Clouds and Harmony.
That's passion right there.
Pretty good.
That was the collaboration brew with Boneyard Brewing.
Okay.
Nice. So,
did you listen to a lot of Bone Thugs when you were?
We did, and the funny thing with
you have to.
But the funny thing with Boneyard is they have Notorious. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
But they've got Notorious, and they've got Suge Knight, and so they have these rap themed beers, and so do we. But then you talk to Tony, he's like, I don't know where these beers come from.
He doesn't even know.
Yeah. He's like, the brewers just name it, and that's kind of where it goes.
Nice. I do like that under your Pilsner, which is called Happy Little Clouds, you actually list it as a bastardized German Pilsner.
Yes. Yeah.
What is bastardized about it?
I mean, the hop bill. I mean, it's still. We build it with Magnum and Saaz, and then we kind of in the later edition and dry hop. It's feathered in with some newer German hops, a little bit of mandarina and melon, and then some newer U.S. hops, some laurel, and just a kiss of mosaic. It's just slightly fruitier on the hop.
Okay.
Front, but it's a bright beer. I mean, you can see most of the beers we have right now are hazy, but it's a bright beer that still tastes like a Pilsner, but it's not just straight lemon zest and spice from noble hops. It's just got a touch.
Got
different.
it. Yeah. And before we talk about the first beer in our glass, Tasty did have a good point about the hop contracts when you do different beers like this. Do you not worry so much then about making sure you have a ton of any one variety of hops, or do you still make big contracts like that?
Yeah, I mean, so part of our contracts, I signed our first contract before we even had a brew house, just seeing how that had happened. And in fact, when I was in Connecticut, it's like the hop crisis happened, and you're like, oh, I'm paying $27 a pound for Cascade right now. And so the goal was always to contract like 80% of your projected usage and then give yourself 20% free. That was at least like my goal. But I mean, yeah, Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe are our three biggest contracts, and getting to the point of being able to choose, instead of just going spot, at least having an option to say, can you please send me 2 or 3 lots, and we can lock in our favorite lot, because
nice.
One of the things you don't really realize until you leave a large brewery that has that power of hop selection is we're cracking open the first bags of Citra and Simcoe, and you're like, this smells like shit. This is not the bright.
Other guys didn't want it. I got what they didn't want.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of and so we contracted in good faith just so that we can have some say instead of no say.
I see. Okay.
Especially with those hops, and those are the 3 hops that are it's the popular girls.
Sure, those are 3 good ones. You can trade for those if you don't have some of the others.
Yeah.
Just like the popular girls.
They're like beers, almost. Like hard to get beers. You got whale hops and shit like that, right?
Yeah. And you collect them in your basement?
Yeah, right. No, they've been handled really well. It's fine.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, yeah, if you end up having to take what they give you, you could be the best brewer in the world, and I might hate your pale ale anyway because they gave you some shitty Citra.
It's true. I mean, it's kind of funny with, when we go out to the farms a lot, Lagunitas has, massive contracts, and they like having their hops hang. I mean, they want the dank. They want it, to smell like an armpit.
Yeah.
And so not everyone wants, what they particular characteristics out of like a Mosaic or a Simcoe or a Citra. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I personally don't want like a dank Citra, but some people love a dank Citra.
Yeah.
So.
I never thought of it like that. I always thought of it like a grape harvest, where like the grapes are ready, they're at fucking 24 bricks. Let's pick them right now. Where hops, and we've talked about it before. Like Steve was just saying, they change. If you pick them too early, pick them too late, they're going to be different.
Yeah.
But I never thought about brewers actually going, hey, this is why I want a later harvest Citra or whatever.
It actually was Jeremy at Lagunitas who was the first one to teach me about that, too. And I've told this story before, but I was there complaining about Simcoe in the early days of Simcoe. And I was complaining about all that cat piss. And everyone around me is like, oh, I love Simcoe. And every time I'm going, why? All of this cat piss. And Jeremy was the first one to agree with me, although they were using mountains of Simcoe at the time. And he's like, oh, yeah, that stuff's terrible. We send it back. Smell this one. And he gives me this bag of Simcoe that it smells nothing like cat piss, and, hands me a beer full of Simcoe that tastes nothing like cat piss. And he explains to me, oh, yeah, we get those hops too, and we send them right back. Because we're big enough to do so.
Right.
And they take them exactly as they want them. And since then, I've actually become a fan of Simcoe. Because I did realize the difference.
Well, and you have a cat.
And
so I think you're used to smelling cat pee in general.
That did coincide, actually. So, well, we're going to run out of time with you, so let's talk about the beer in our glass. The first one we have is your pale ale, I believe. That should be the one that Beardy poured for us, which I already really like. This is the kind of pale ale that's in my wheelhouse. It's that really soft, kind of like a Pale 31 type of pale ale. Soft, flowery, and not too bitter. Tell us about the beer.
Yeah, so this one, this is called Pretty Little Liar. It's about 5% ABV, 40 IBU, and we built it around that click of hops, so Simcoe, Citra, Mosaic, and then we gave it a twist with an experimental hop from YCH called Hop 438. And I'm really hot on 438. A lot of homebrewers know 438 from Vinny Brewing, this Ron Mexico beer for the homebrewers conference a few years back.
Yeah,
and it has some woodiness to it. It's got like some balsa, some cedar notes, and then really kind of a lemony, like lime fruitiness to it too. It's almost like a Sriracha Ace 2.0. Like it's not very dilly. And it's not coconutty, but there is still some of like a little bit of like this woodiness to it.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to feather it in. It's not necessarily like identifiable. When it's with all three of those hops, but it does kind of give it a touch of a twist. Like what else is in this kind of a thing?
Yeah, I never would have picked out that hop, but I can pick out some of those flavors you just described. How much of that did you use in comparison to the others? Is it a pretty even mix, or
the dry hop was a little bit more, but probably like overall it's like 35%. Total hop weight is 438, so it's slightly skewed to 438.
That's a good hop. I like it.
Thanks.
And then you go for a cloudy pale ale here. In fact, like you mentioned, all the beers we have here.
Yeah, I mean they're not the cloud. I mean they're not opaque. We don't have a filter. We have all unit tanks, so we use Biofine Clear.
Oh, you do?
And then we will change percentages, how we do it. But none of these beers have adjuncts, high protein adjuncts in them. It's more of this dry hop, like hop polyphenol haze that doesn't get completely fined out in the tanks that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll kind of have this like veil of haze.
What yeast do you use here?
We use yeast from Imperial out of Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And the strain is called Corporate Ale Strain because we stole the yeast from Elysian.
Okay. I was going to say that's an awful name, but now it's a really good name.
And then we had them bank it. So yeah.
So it's your own bank strain.
It is, but it's available publicly. So like if you want, you can call up Imperial and they will totally prop you up some corporate ale yeast because we want it. If people want to use it, that's awesome.
Which is like the most anti-corporate thing ever, which is kind of clever.
It's widely available to everybody.
Right.
What did you like about that yeast?
I mean, so it's kind of like it's this. They say it's another derivative of like that Ballantine ale yeast, but to me it's got a little bit more of like strawberry esters to it. It's super burly. Both myself and Zach were just really familiar with how it acts because Zach also used to brew at Elysian as well. And I think as brewers, especially opening up something new, we want to at least have our yeast to start out with something that we, really know how it works.
Smart.
And yeah, I mean, it's a slower ferment. From brew to package, it's like 19 to 20 days or so. I mean, and that's, including the dry hop and the fining and the conditioning and such. But it's certainly not like a production style yeast in for these days. But.
Right. It's not like a terminal in 5 days. It takes a full 7 to 10 days to get to the terminal.
Yeah.
Well, I really like that beer. It's too bad I'll never get to have it again. Unless I get to the brewery in the next few days or something.
Yeah.
All right. I want to get through these beers before you got to go because they all look tasty. The next one I think you want to try was the red ale, right? Or red IPA? Is that what it is?
Red IPA, yeah. It's pretty. It's really ugly looking in this cup, but
I'm going to agree with you. It's ugly. It looks a little bit like iced tea in this cup.
Yes. Yeah.
So the red's not coming through.
Right.
Well.
Yeah, I think it's been moved around quite a bit. But so this is more of a Simcoe forward double red.
There you go. Yeah.
A little bit of Idaho 7 and some Chinook and Centennial too. So a bit more on that piney grapefruit spectrum.
It's also earthy though to me. Like I'm definitely getting the pine and the grapefruit, but it's a lot more earthy than the last beer, which I like. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean I'm assuming that's. I mean, Simcoe kind of sometimes. Some people also say Simcoe has like this peanut shell, thing going on.
Yeah. That's
too.
A good call.
Yeah, combined with the Chinook too.
Yeah,
the earthy nuttiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about the malt bill that you went with.
Malt bill. I mean, so the majority of our beers, other than that Pilsner, is mostly raw 2-row. This one we had some Simpsons medium crystal. in it, and then a touch of Carafa 2 Special and some Patagonia Perla Negra to kind of give it that color and still kind of have it finished dry.
Yeah, which it does.
I mean, you want a little bit of that caramel flavor, but to me, in a red, especially in a Northwest red, you still kind of want it.
Yeah, I like the caramel character. Yeah, there's plenty there. Then you got the color that you get from the dark malts.
Yeah.
What is the Patagonia malt like from another maltster? I'm not familiar with that one.
It's really pleasant. I mean, it's also dehusked, and it's roasted at just a slightly lower temperature. So the lava bond is a bit lower than that Carafa 2.
Okay.
But those guys, I mean, I haven't played around with a lot of Patagonia malts, but the stuff that I have played around with, they also do kind of a special B take. And so we were just basically trying to figure out what dark malts to add that would be the least roasty or the least,
Gotcha.
abrasive.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I like this beer too. And drink them all. All right, and the last beer in our glass. Now, this one you were starting to tell me about just before the show too, because it's a wet hop beer, although kind of an interesting twist on it. But before we talk about that one specifically, you were starting to say to me before the show that you're going to do several wet hop beers this year.
Yeah, we are stupid, and we just
you like to do them.
It's my favorite time of the year. So yeah, we'll do. When it's all said and done, 8 fresh hop beers over the course of the month. I mean, I'm going out to Yakima on Wednesday.
Nice.
Back on Thursday. Back out again on Saturday. It's certainly a labor of love.
Okay.
But when you're that close to,
It's easier for you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What do you like about using wet hops?
I mean, part of liking. I mean, we use them a lot of the time because we can, and I mean, you get this vegetal chlorophyll dankness that isn't necessarily. Yeah, well, it's true, right? So it's not necessarily pleasant, and I don't want it in all of my IPAs, but it's just something different.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's really kind of cool just to see how things change before the pelletization process is. And so.
Good chance to taste the hop, and I think you told us that this has a special. You just did this on the cold side.
Yeah, so this is fresh Centennial from one of the farms out there, CLS Farms, and so usually when we brew fresh hop beer, we're adding fresh hops to the wort in our grant at runoff, and then we'll add fresh hops at flame out to the kettle. We'll add more fresh hops to the whirlpool, and then we'll convert our mash tun into this giant hop back where the majority of all those hops are just going to get this post-boil steep in the mash tun before we knock it out. So we usually add these hops in every logical place that we can, other than the boil, just because I think that's kind of where you really kind of pull out more of those less desirable, vegetal, chewy components to it. And they always are chewy. I mean, this is chewy, and this was just finished beer conditioned on wet Centennial hops. So,
it was completely finished, even.
Yeah, so we were racking this beer out. We had come back from the farm, and we were going to brew a double batch with all these Centennials the following day. And since we were racking it out, we said, let's purge a small 2-barrel conditioning tank, shove a sack in there, throw some beer on there, and get it. So it's called ASAP Hoppy. So we do that every year with the first harvest.
Nice.
Just to get it in there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So. I get that.
So, when you were describing the flavor characteristics like the chlorophyll and things like that, my first inclination was a little bit like Tasty over there. Okay.
This is my experience. It's not. This beer is great.
That's what I was.
Example of the style.
I can now. So listening to you say them, then I go, okay. Well, I wonder if that's going to be any good. But now I'm tasting them, and I'm tasting the very things you listed, right? The things I was questioning, and I really like them.
Oh, thanks.
I think that it does add a completely different component to a beer, and I think it's easy to just call them I think some brewers can just say, well, then it just tastes like an off flavor, like if you're getting some of that vegetal. But it's different than that. No. It is not the same as those components that cause off flavors. Even there's a little green pepper in there, but it's different than that. I forget what that one's called, but
I see the hide.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Green apple.
I think they're really different. You can tell that they're coming from wet hops, and that they're they don't have that they don't even stick out so far like an off flavor, right? Like a mistake, like it's some, sharp point in the beer. It's still very rounded.
Yeah.
This is a great wet hop beer.
I mean, off flavors are, it's just whatever you don't want.
Right.
Right. So it's like
they can be. I guess I'm more specifically saying is when people start to talk about either like using coffee or using wet hops or using whatever.
Yeah.
It's an easy argument to just say, well, why do that? Because it's just going to taste like off flavors anyway. And I'm saying that this is a beer that would prove that wrong because I think it really tastes great in here, and they do not taste like off flavors.
Yeah, and I think out of context too. I mean, if you had this beer in February at some random bar, you'd say, "What's going on with this?" Like, what?
That's a good point. The time of year matters.
Changed,
Yeah, or if it hung around that long, but also it's like harvest time is what you're saying,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you can certainly get flavors like this not using wet hops, and then now these off flavors are contextualized, right? So
right.
you're like, well, I know he didn't use wet hops in this beer, and
right.
so I don't know what went wrong.
Then you might question the chlorophyll.
Yeah.
I really like this beer. I think it's a good example of a wet hop. And I like the way that you did it, too. And maybe that's the difference I'm tasting also. Instead of putting a lot of wet hops in the kettle, or even just dry hopping with them, you just sat them on wet hops in a couple barrels, right?
Yeah.
And for how long did you say?
6 days.
Okay. Yeah.
And what's your knockout on into your 15-gallon fermenter? Do you still get 15 barrels? Still get 10 barrels into there, or you probably don't get near as much when you went out?
I mean, when you do the full thing, we lose. I mean, it's kind of a wash. So your gravity is decreasing because the water content is so high in these hops.
Right. You're adding water.
And so the volume is roughly the same, but you kind of have to factor in for other things like that. And I mean, we typically tend to use like 15 pounds per barrel. But these last couple of brews have been 20 pounds. We just did one that was like 35 pounds per barrel. Because you're never going to say no to more.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Okay.
Are you finding a threshold of maybe 35 pounds is too much because you get more vegetal matter than you do hop impact?
Yeah, I think we'll find out.
Okay.
But talking, we all talk, and a lot of the brewers that are passionate about this. Tyler Brown from Barley Browns in Baker City had mentioned he had done once that was like 50 pounds per barrel, and he said it was undrinkable. It was just
really,
yeah. And so if Tyler made an undrinkable beer, then I don't really even believe that. That's possible.
Right. That's a good rule to follow. They do make great beers over there. Yeah. Well, this is excellent. I appreciate you sharing it with us. I wish you could send more. Do you guys distribute outside of Seattle or what?
No, I mean, we self-distribute in Seattle city limits, and we have a handful of accounts outside Seattle that come to the brewery to pick the beer up. But
okay.
That's kind of the line that we have drawn.
Got it.
Because, if you have a gray area, then it gets grayer and grayer.
That's true.
I think I read you do
until it's white.
1,700 barrels this year?
Or black.
Yeah, we're on pace to do about 1,700
barrels. And how much
barrels
is poured over your own taps?
About 30% of the volume.
30%?
I would have thought even more than that. So you are getting it out of there quite a bit.
Yeah, we've got about 50 or 60 accounts, and most of them have been on board with us since day one. So, our director of sales does more of, saying no than he actually does, like, selling the beer.
It's allocated.
Yeah. Oh, you like that beer?
Interesting.
We ran out of it.
Yeah, you can't have it.
Yeah. We have something similar in that it's carbonated and wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, how does that work for your accounts? Like, they just take what you have?
Yes, I mean we've of our double tanks, one always has the Pilsner in it, and then the other three are a double batch of whatever current IPA is, and so and then the single batch beers, are something a little bit more esoteric, whether it's a red IPA or it's a saison or a pale and things like that. But for the most part, the sales sheet goes out. We have lots of our accounts just basically have like the Cloudburst IPA handle, and then the work initially was to then making sure that those accounts educated their staff with the changes, and then whether it's the change of the name and the change of the hop ale and kind of what's different, so that people don't come in and say, well, which Cloudburst IPA, and they're like, well, I don't know.
Right.
Because the tap handle says Cloudburst IPA.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
completely different IPA than last time.
Yeah. Our tap handles are just like repurposed umbrella handles that are always breaking and everyone hates. So it's
Perfect.
Yeah. We have plenty of those.
Yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're not only going to change our beer every time, but we're going to give everyone fucked up handles that no one's going to like.
The bartender's like, oh, great. Cloud dicks are here.
Yeah. Great success.
I mean, speaking of cloud dicks, we have several like dildo tap handles also floating around the city.
I got one of those too.
Nice.
I got a dildo tap handle.
Yeah.
That's
They're
great.
easy to make.
And so, people walk in like, what is that? It looks great in a row of tap handles.
It does.
I'll take those. Why is that tap handle veiny? I don't. I'll have that.
Yeah.
That was a Darth Vader.
Sells beer.
Yeah.
It's got a helmet.
And then sometimes the names just work out. So like when we did like Tickle Party IPA, and like,
That's
gets
perfect. All right. Well, you can go find them at the tasting room as well. Go to cloudburstbrew.com and you can get the location and the hours and tasting room. I assume is available all week long. So go hang out with them there. And Steve, you're in the brewery almost all the time, I would imagine.
Yeah, I live there.
You live there. He actually lives there.
I'm in the mash tun. Yeah. So no one gets to grain in without me being there.
So you can go find Steve there. Steve, thanks for being on the show with us and bringing beer.
Man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Pleasure having you.
If you miss your flight, we're open till midnight here, so you come on back, and we'll probably still be sitting here drinking.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We got a sleeping bag and an air mattress back there.
That's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pull up a bar. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, lots more to do. Thanks to Steve for being here. Go to cloudburstbrew.com and check it out. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewer's Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for sticking with us. Also, thanks to Steve Luke from Cloudburst Brewing, who has decided to hang out with us for a little while, which is cool by us. His flight's delayed anyway, so we're going to chill.
Why not?
Dick around with us. Hey, before we get to the dicking around, don't forget about Great Fermentations. You can go to greatfermentations.com. Check them out. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the biz using Blickman products. They offer top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. So go check them out at greatfermentations.com, and you can be sure to like them on Facebook. That's GR8 Fermentation, and Twitter, GR8 Fermentation. Greatfermentations.com, great sponsor of ours that we appreciate very much. All right, I'm going to get through just a couple small announcements, and then we can do feedback, Doc.
Yay!
And then later in the program, JP has a new game for us.
I got a quick game.
I like games.
Which is cool. Yeah, we haven't had a game in a while.
Yeah.
A Twitter game?
There's a Twitter game, too.
Which we're going to do now during our announcements. I don't have too much going on for you this week. I did want to let you know, looks like this Friday the 15th here at the Hop Grenade, we've got Seismic Brewing coming in for a craft series. And then Doc and Tasty, you guys will like this. On the 29th, it's Pro-Am night with Club Doe's Gone Pro.
Nice.
So it's a bunch of the our local club Does, of course, that have gone pro, and will have their Pro-Am beers on tap. So that's Friday the 29th here at the Hop Grenade.
Doesn't sound horrible.
No, that should be fun. And then those of you who are out toward the Colorado side of things, we got a couple of events happening at our Hop Grenade Fort Collins location. We're gearing up for GABF over there. So if you're in the greater Colorado, greater Denver, Fort Collins, Wyoming area.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's all
Utah.
right there. Well, the reason I'm expanding that zone is that at least one of these events you're really going to want to come out for, and that is that we've got the guys from the Rare Barrel coming out to our Fort Collins location and bringing a ton of beer. So I believe it is outside of GABF. It might be the first time that anybody has poured Rare Barrel beer, and we're getting a ton of it, and the guys are going to be there. So that's happening Wednesday, October 4th, in the afternoon. Probably starts around 5 o'clock or so, at the Hop Grenade Fort Collins. And Jay and Alex, the founders, and Jay, the brewer, will be there. Jay's going to record a sour hour, so we got a live broadcast happening. But then I know you folks, because you're like me. The most important thing is that on top of all that, you're going to get to try Rare Barrel beer, which you've heard us talking about for years. And if you haven't had any, this is your chance. So mark that down. That's Wednesday, October 4th. On Tuesday the 3rd, if you're going to GABF and you're going in early to do all those pre-events like you should be doing, we've got one happening too. We're going to do a GABF All-Stars event on the 3rd, where we're going to bus you from Denver to Fort Collins. You come to us. Let's see if I get this right. You're going to come to the Hop Grenade, and then you're going to go to Funkworks, one of my favorites there in Fort Collins. Then you're going to go to New Belgium, so you get to see one of the big, but also one of the most well-done breweries I've ever seen. Then you're going to go to Odell's, which I'm just going to point out right now. Odell's has, since I spent so much time in Colorado doing the build, Odell's was my go-to beer. And I've always liked their beer. I just found it before to be, pretty damn good. It's fucking stellar right now. They're making just awesome beer.
Good, man. That's good to hear. Because I don't know, for me, they always had the kind of like the late 90s heavy crystal malt kind of thing going on. And I haven't had their beer in maybe 5 years.
So you're 100% right. And by the way, they still sell a lot of that 90 shilling, I think it is. And so you definitely can still find that profile. But I feel like they've Sierra Nevada'd us, where they now make all these beers that I think a lot of them you just get locally. Mm-hmm. So, for example, they made this
paleo.
I'm trying to, exactly.
But they fucking lagered it, and they don't tell you about it. It's a switch on the whole thing.
It sounds great.
No, nothing fancy here. I'm actually just trying to remember if they've billed it as an extra pale ale or whatever. Anyhow, it's called St. Lupulin.
St. Lupulin. Okay.
And I lived on that beer in Fort Collins. It is so damn good. It's such a great pale ale of whatever kind it is. I don't fucking know. Anyhow, Odell's killing it nowadays. So we're going to stop at Odell's.
Yeah, they call it extra pale ale.
Extra pale ale. There you go. Okay. Which is what? Like another name for session IPA?
Yes. It's a pale ale, but it's extra. Which you would think would be like more, but I think extra pale ale is less. I think it's like less malt.
Extra pale.
It's extra pale.
Ale.
I don't think they did anything fancy to it. It's just a great
a good beer.
Extra pale ale, basically. I mean, and they sell it in like 12 packs of cans.
Oh, shit.
And you know me. Like, I did not know how many 12 packs of this Kevin and I went through while we were building.
I could see your living room floor just littered with cans.
Yeah. I would go so far as to call it the beer that built the Hop Grenade Fort Collins.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just what we lived on.
Right.
That and French fries.
Also in cans?
No, it's just because I live near a Carl's Jr. there.
So, no.
Beer and French fries.
Wow.
Basically.
Your cardiologist is like...
Yeah. So anyhow, this bus tour. So it goes to Odell's. Then it goes from Odell's to Tap and Handle, which is our other favorite tap house there in town. Actually, I have two favorites, Tap and Handle and The Forge. The Forge is really my favorite over there, but it's hidden away, and I don't even want to tell everybody about it because this is awesome little like back out. I think people know about it, but they have the best tap selection, other than the Hop Grenade, to be honest, in town. Anyhow, bus isn't going there. Bus is going to Tap and Handle, which it's right there. It's on par, and a great spot.
Where did we end up after the grand opening? Because it's kind of blurry for me and stuff.
I believe I took you to the Forge.
Okay, yeah.
Then we ended up at a dive bar. Like, not a dive bar, a bro bar. We went to a bro bar.
Yeah, I remember that part, too. I just don't know how I got there or the names.
Yeah, I think we walk. Once you get down to the Forge, you can walk everywhere. So
stumble around.
Yeah, so the bus tour will take you from the downtown Denver Convention Center, where the event is, of course, on Tuesday. It's going to pick you up at 11 a.m. It's going to bring you straight to the Hop Grenade in Fort Collins, where you get some lunch and some beer in you. Then you're going to go to Funkworks, New Belgium, Odell's, and Tap and Handle. And then we'll get you all the way back down to Denver feeling pretty damn good. So tickets for that will actually go on sale tomorrow. If you're listening live, tomorrow is Tuesday... The what? The 12th. So they'll be up by tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday the 12th. If you're listening on the podcast, they're probably available right now.
This is October 3rd, on Tuesday.
That's correct.
Cool.
Yeah, Tuesday, October 3rd.
I'll be there.
That's our GABF All-Stars event. You'll be there? Great.
Sure, I'll be working the bus.
Perfect. I like it, Tasty. That's
driving?
That's what I was hoping before.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, like I said, on Wednesday the 4th, we've got the Rare Barrel event.
I'd like to see some Rare Barrel on the outside of these confines.
Yeah. That would be a good one. Then after all that, we're going to... Let me get the date right on this. Yeah. Monday the 9th, we'll be back in Fort Collins. We're doing the session live from Fort Collins. So, for those of you...
It wasn't on my calendar.
Well, I told you after that we'd be doing stuff after
I didn't get that.
GABF. You don't have to stay tasty. It's okay. You know how the remotes go. They're difficult with microphones and all that. Sure. If you want to stay after GABF, we'll talk about it. We'll work it out. I don't know, Beardy was talking about going out there.
I want to go.
Maybe I can cover the first...
Doc's talking about going now. Bevo is going to be there working anyway, so you'll get so that night we'll actually make a Brewing Network night that Monday, and so it'll be a Brewing Network listener party, which is mostly just partying around Bevo. That's what we do at a listener party.
Right.
So we'll get you more details about that, but those are the dates. Pay attention to the calendar on the Brewing Network website where I will post this stuff, as well as the hopgrenade.com, and you can go check all that out. All right. Do your Amazon shopping by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage, or on it has its own page. It's everywhere. Just click Amazon, then do your shopping as normal. It's a great way to support us. You don't spend any more money. We just get a piece of your money, and we get to see what you ordered. We don't know you by name, but we could stalk you and figure out what creepy shit you buy. We just don't know who you are. Do that. It's a great way to support us. Also, subscribe and join the BN Army just by clicking the donate button. For as little as $2 a month, you can be entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which enters you to win $100. They give away $100 every month to More Beer, which, that's a lot of stuff. So sign up and support us that way. Get these updates, other updates, weird things, and... I don't know, subliminal messages from JP over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, just by searching Brewing Network over there.
All of my Twitter games are actually anagrams, and they're word puzzles.
They are.
You have to figure it out.
That's great.
Yeah. I've buried 12 gems throughout the United States.
Really?
And you need to solve my Twitter games to figure out where they are.
All of them are within 5 blocks of his house because he doesn't like to leave.
Basically, I just go in the backyard and throw them real hard.
Is a gem a type of cat?
No, it's a man. They're midgets. They're small midgets called Jim.
I thought it was just a good joke.
I buried 12 Johns.
12 Johns. All right, send your feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. You can send show ideas over to Bevo at thebrewingnetwork.com. You'll figure it out. Or just go to our goddamn contact page on the homepage, and it's all right there.
GD.com.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a Twitter game?
Yes, we do, sir.
I thought we would. Twitter game is brought to you today by the American Homebrewers Association and their Brew Guru app, which helps you find all of the AHA discounts available to you. They've got that member benefits program. So if you open up the app and you're walking down the street, it'll tell you as you walk by the Hop Grenade that we will give you a discount if you bring in your membership card, which exists on the app, by the way. You no longer have to carry your membership card. That's the thing that used to get me, is that I never carried that fucking card around. But now it's on the app, right, Tasty?
Yeah.
You just show them.
It comes up on your phone. You can show them your card.
Show the bartender.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Of course, that works for homebrew shops and everything. So check out the Brew Guru app in the App Store of your choice and download it today and become a member. Click the AHA link on our homepage for that too. What's our Twitter game?
Well, since y'all are back from Burning Man, I wanted to ask the BN Army how we can best bring the boys back to reality. You know, we got to drag you kicking and screaming back into the real world somehow, and I'm hoping that someone out there knows how to just kind of snap you guys back into the general daily grind you down, wear you out until you commit suicide at 55 kind of lifestyle we all want to live.
It's coming up fast. It's called the default world, and also 55 was a couple years ago.
I think he was talking about me.
Hey, yeah.
I just
You're
threw it
getting
out
close.
there. Yeah.
I turned 40 this month.
Yes, he does.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Within a week, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
Something
yeah.
like that.
That's close.
How's that feel?
I'm not going to lie. It's bothering me a little bit. I feel like it's over. I feel like everything's over.
You're still not 40 yet, so...
Right. I've got a little time.
Don't slit your wrist until, you know...
Until you're actually 40.
Until your birthday.
You can walk into the man next year.
Yeah.
Fine.
So that's why you're going to walk into the man.
Blow your candles out by just cutting your wrists open and showering them with blood.
That's a great idea, actually.
And then no one gets cake, and you die.
So I get to that last little fuck you before I
yeah. You all looking for cake?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'll still make sure there's cake.
Just don't aim for the pie.
Just dive into the cake.
Yes, Bevo. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to tell you that it was all over a long time ago, so
Yeah.
you don't really have to worry about that.
The
I
good
guess
years
you're
are
right.
behind you, man.
I'm big about milestones, and this is like one of them.
No, big one.
It just feels
big
like
bump in the road.
So, yeah.
The good years are all done, man.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You've given us all your good years.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I hope they were,
That's how I feel.
I hope you felt them.
It's just dark and despair from this point out.
Yeah. I should have ran into that fire.
I thought it was you, man.
You still can.
I'm not going 40, man.
How old are you, Steve? You're not even close to 40 yet, are you?
33.
33.
Oh, old man.
You got some time.
You got good 8 years left in you, and then,
And you'll be here with me. We'll have you back on just before. We'll see how you sound.
Perfect.
You guys can Thelma and Louise this whole motherfucker. Right off the roof of the bar.
Yeah, we'll just go walk onto the BART tracks.
Justin will be 46 by then.
Fuck you, man.
Not if he has anything to say about it.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he would have been.
He would have been.
Oh, shit.
You guys will miss me.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we have better aim than that.
As long as you don't bleed on our cake.
All right. How about some feedback?
Let's do it.
Yay.
Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Our good friend John, who takes care of our trademark and can take care of yours. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. Also, he can help you with your brewery filings, especially if you're in North Carolina. I think that's where he is, North Carolina.
That's right.
Yeah, that's his state of expertise, but he can give you advice just about anywhere. Go over to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. So, I'm going to need some background on this first one, guys.
Yes,
because,
you are.
It's feedback about scofflaw. Scofflaw.
Yes.
What's this scofflaw situation? Because the feedback is intense.
It's pretty vitrolic or whatever. So Scofflaw is a brewing company who made waves a couple of weeks ago about a Facebook post that they put on there, basically, well, literally giving the finger to all of their customers who would call or email or write or whatever and say, hey, I love your beer, but I just wish it was consistent. And they're like, well, you don't understand. We're a small batch, artisanal, blah, blah, blah. And so beers are going to vary from batch to batch. And then people would write back and be like, no, I'm talking like in the 6-pack of beer, 2 cans taste different than the other 2 cans. And then the other 2 cans taste like something entirely different.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was very much like, hey, we're supporting you. We're supporting what you're trying to do. We like you guys.
Yeah.
We like the beers. We just wish the same batch would be consistent. And these people kind of took it to the next level, the brewing company did, and basically just told everyone, like, then don't drink our fucking beer. We don't care. We sell enough of it anyways.
Even when that was the response to the 6-pack explanation?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm paraphrasing, but the article, you can see it, the author screenshotted on Facebook a customer saying, hey, I frequent your beer. I've been lining up since you've opened. I come to your parties. I'm a frequent drinker there. I just wish that they were more consistent. And they were like, well, then go drink somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they have a whole staff picture of them just throwing the middle finger up.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it's pretty...
A for effort.
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
That'll get you distributors.
I kind of love it.
Yeah.
But it's a dick move.
I want to try the beer. That's what I'm thinking.
It's.
I don't.
I like the idea, right? Of like, well, because that's kind of what we've done. before, right, on the Brewing Network.
Yeah.
But we don't have a thing for people to buy, right?
Right. This
We're
thing that
working
we
on
give
it.
away.
Yeah.
It's pretty shitty and variable, so I mean, we're in the same boat, really.
Right, but it's like I don't know. I think they were overreacting for no reason. Their customers were just simply saying, "Hey, when can you get batch consistent?" And they took it to mean, your cloudy IPAs vary from batch to batch, and why.
Clearly, they had been getting this feedback more than that post because.
Oh no, it was
that's
several
a hair
posts. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm saying also it must be happening in the tasting.
Mm-hmm.
Like in other words, they're. Instead of taking the feedback as something to be fixed, they were feeling sensitive.
Right.
Because that's the type of reaction from somebody. Like, I'll get that way after a little while. Someone, keeps hammering until I'm, if I'm not ready yet to accept what this problem is, and someone keeps hammering at it like that, or several people.
Like the noise in the live stream after an hour and 5 minutes?
Yeah. I would flip out.
Well, I can't tell you the number of brewers I know that always bring up Untapped to me. They go Untapped, people are freaking. There's one over there. Freaking nuts. What are they saying? Well, you got to just ignore all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it makes me laugh. I love reading it.
There you go. That's a great attitude, right? Just you got to figure most people have no clue, and that's probably this guy that's evaluating your consistency probably has no clue either.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Unless it's several
Take that.
people.
You and your tasting team, and if you have a great palate, that could be just you. Need to be the ones that judge your beer.
So that's true. However, then the response to it sounds like you guys already had this conversation, so forgive me. But the response to a six-pack being different would be, we know what we're doing. However, it sounds like you got a bad six-pack. How about we send you another one? It's not fuck you, you're an idiot.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good business.
Yeah, literally eat my whole ass.
It is getting a lot of social media attention, and we're of course doing that as well.
Well, maybe that was a part of
we're
what they
not
wanted.
pushing this any
I mean,
farther.
that could be what they had in mind. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's read.
Read it on. I'll get the background.
So Cliff says, first of all, my condolences to Bevo in regards to the passing of her mama. Then he goes on, here's my take on Scofflaw. This is a textbook case of wanting your cake and eating it, too. We're talking about a brewery that is admittedly ill-equipped to handle a trendy beer style that they're trying to capitalize on. This one has bullet points, by the way.
He's like an anal retentive listener.
Yeah.
All right.
Regardless of what you think of New England IPA, it's a very ingredient and cellar-intensive style, and if you can't meet those demands, brew something else. No one's forcing Scofflaw to brew this style. If you have... Also, could we talk about their name first? Like, what are we making fun of their beer for? If you have major variance in your raw ingredients that result in an unfamiliar drinking experience for consumers, create a new beer under a different label. Beers that explode in cans and have marked differences in SRM warrant a trip back to your meaningless 9-to-5 job until you stand around your homebrew kettle long enough to make good beer. Well, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Steve, you don't want just any idiot who's never brewed before or knows nothing about brewing becoming a colleague of yours, a brewery down the street, right? Because every small brewery is a reflection of the other small brewery, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's also been like the Brewers Association's, the last large address, has always been quality and consistency. And in the United States, the barriers to entry of starting your own brewery are really low, and it's very encouraging that anyone can kind of do this thing. But I've always preached,
it's also a problem.
It's also a problem, and I think in any industry that you want to get into, you should spend some time, working in that industry on the expense of someone else's, dime, and figuring things out and see what's the right way to do things. And there are lots of right ways to do things, and there's lots of wrong ways to do things, and, and kind of figuring it out before that next step.
A lot of people do 2 homebrew batches, and the damn one gives them the money to start a brewery, and away they go.
And like you're saying, the problem is the limited amount of barriers to doing so. If you can capitalize it, I've said in podcasting, I've said the same thing that the best thing about podcasts are that anybody can do them, and that the worst thing about podcasts are that anybody could do them. And I've spoken at 2 podcast conferences and said that, and honestly, it never goes over well. People look at me like I'm an asshole.
Because everybody out there has heard their shit sucks.
Well, also, I'm now standing at a conference for podcasters, which is at least some indication that it's an actual industry now. And so kind of the same for how, microbrewing, started, where at some point wasn't really considered an industry, and now it very much is. Like, we had to grow up. The craft beer industry had to grow the fuck up because it became a real thing, became a real industry. And part of that is being a professional at your job. And I felt the same way about podcasting. Mm-hmm. If you guys are good, you're here listening to me because you want to know how to make a career out of it. You want to know how to get advertising. You want to get all this, but you don't want to hear me say that you might suck at it. Like, go learn to do something.
It's like Bill Murray's speech in what's that goddamn fucking movie? He made his comeback. The school.
St. Vincent?
Shut the fuck up, Warren. You're just making shit up now.
Zombieland.
Starts with an R.
Steve Zissou.
No, starts with an R.
Rushmore.
Rushmore, yes. Thank you very much. Like when he gave his the graduation speech.
Comeback?
Yeah, that was his first movie in a long time that anyone gave. Operation Dumbo Drop, sure, and the fuck wasn't. And he basically said the same thing. He's like, you fucking, take aim at the big guy. Because that's how you're going to get ahead. Like, try and actually push yourself.
Learn to do something.
Right. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
But do you have to hurt people's feelings along the way?
Yes,
JP does.
Yeah, I was like flipping you guys off because it was helping me think, and I didn't really mean it. But it helped. It worked. So actually, it didn't.
So it starts with quality beer and consistency.
Well, that's
Scofflaw is giving the finger at that.
Consistency in the same six-pack,
Well, that's...
their name...
Right.
Really? That could have been one person saying that.
Well, you might have got a bad six-pack, a canning line, it could have been
in the trunk of the car,
Okay, but again, then the answer... So you're right. We shouldn't assume that they didn't know how to brew. Yeah, maybe the beer's fine. So you're right. We shouldn't make that assumption that they don't know what they're doing. We can certainly make the assumption, though, that if a consumer says something like that to you, you just ask if you can replace their fucking six-pack.
Right. Yeah. I mean, odds are they're also canning on, a mobile canning line where, now you're not even thinking about the CIP process of that mobile canning line and what were they canning the day before and, how, what kind of time schedule are they on? And even those little mobile canning lines, 1 in 6 cans is going to have some DO level off the chart just by, how imprecise those little forehead.
The nature of those
I will agree 100% with that causing these potential problems. But frankly, that's your problem.
Right.
Like,
that's the brewery's problem.
Yeah, like you have to, I think, and I'm sure you know this too, I'm not accusing you of anything, but you would have had to do your research, know the potential problems with that mobile canning line, and then be ready to either own up to them or like you're the one biting that off, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everyone can agree there is a problem, whether it's a perception problem on the customer side or there's an actual problem in the product. There is an issue.
Yeah.
And the target here of this conversation is how they dealt with it, which is a classic example of how to deal with it the wrong way.
Right.
Is kind of like make yourselves out to be these tough kind of punk rock, fuck the man, we'll do whatever we want, and you can eat my entire ass. Like, it's not. It doesn't. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this right now? This is what are you doing? What kind of marketing is this?
By the way, that brewery was started in the 90s, right? Who already had the this beer's too good for you fucking attitude.
Yeah,
right.
I think there's a fine line between being aggressive and being thin-skinned on responses like that.
You're right. And if you can't walk that fine line, which is take some communications talent, don't.
Right.
Or go out of business, and then I don't care.
I mean, they're staying within brand. They're taking the Scofflaw name and applying it to quality.
It's a good point.
And good social media practice.
So that's some consistency.
Right. They are consistent in some areas.
There you go.
It was successful. That's their goal.
All right, let's stop talking about him.
Yeah, so anyway, he went on to say the same things that we are, really. That, as a brewery, it's not just your job, it's your obligation to produce quality and consistent beers. Consumers should not be forced to bear the burden of your inability to correctly do your job, et cetera, et cetera. So, Cliff is spot on. He says, P.S. I'll be at GABF this year hoping to win the Pro-Am 2 years in a row.
Oh, shit.
I guess Cliff won Pro-Am last year,
That's pretty hard to do.
Says if he can muster up enough sobriety, he'll come see us at the BN booth and give free hugs.
Free hug sober is weird.
Yeah.
I'd actually rather you just buy a T-shirt.
From another booth.
So hugged out, I guess.
All right, Rob writes in, "Hey guys and Bevo, you're all idiots."
Well, duh.
That's not nice.
He says, "Not really. I just thought if I started that way, you'd actually read this on the air," which is true. I love your show and listen every week, except the weeks that Justin is not there. So he says, "I got to listen to 4 shows this year." JP, while everybody else says "suck it," I think you rock.
Oh, thanks.
Which is weird because he's saying he doesn't listen to your shows.
Yeah.
But
I'm assuming he's trying to be funny or he's bipolar.
Or he's heard other people talk.
Or he thinks you're Justin.
That's also true.
He says, "I've tried some homebrewing, but I don't have the attention span to stick with it. So instead, I drink a lot of different beers. Thanks for all the entertainment and education you provide." From Rob, who is in New Jersey, close to Neshaminy Creek, he says.
Nice.
Oh, lucky guy.
Drink them Johns, Bray.
I thought Neshaminy Creek was in
Philly.
Yeah, well,
Are
they close?
Pennsylvania. Really, really
Just a
south.
train ride
Jersey.
up the
All right, Ben writes in, he's recommending music. He says, JP and Bevo, because Justin's just the boss now. I'm proposing some Segway music. He wants me to play Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine Show. Fan of the song and the band, not going to play it, though. Sorry. It's a copyright thing. We don't really do copyright music anymore. I mean, except for the ones that are already there, because I'm too lazy to remove them. That's about it.
That's why we have John at the Beer Law Center.
That's right. He'll take care of it when we get into trouble. This one's really good. Tim writes in, this is about hot dog water, Bevo.
Yes. I will say there's pictures to go along with it.
Really?
They won't add anything to the conversation, but if you're curious as to like how he does the thing.
There's wieners and water, and you're not going to show us?
All right, I'll show you. Go ahead and read it. I'll pull it up.
Well, it's a very...
I got Prince
I mean,
of
there's
Kill
you got to
for
get like the film over the water. There's like a whole thing.
So the background to this is, of course, that we've accused, or Bevo admitted, I forget, of using hot dog water after she boils her hot dog to make pasta because it makes it better and because she's white trash.
Right.
And then that water as tooth water.
Okay, I was tired that morning.
That was the morning?
Tooth
Yeah,
water?
it was on the RV.
Tooth water. I know when. Wait, I just didn't know it was. I thought it was nighttime and you were.
No, it was. He
hammered.
left his tooth water in the bathroom.
So, Steve,
where's
no,
the
you
tooth
said,
water?
You said we need more tooth water.
We were
We were
on an RV trip.
Yes.
And Bevo one night or morning is like, I need tooth water.
No,
and all of us are like, what?
No, I think there was a bottle of water in the bathroom because we had the toilet water for the flushing because we didn't have running water.
Okay.
And then there was the tooth water for brushing your teeth. And we ran out, and I was brushing my teeth, and I needed tooth water. Sorry if you guys can't think on my level.
It's complicated. But
It's so far down.
From a professional standpoint,
Can you give me an outline? PowerPoint?
just
Yeah. Steve, isn't your wife a dentist?
She is, yes.
Does she
And
know
she
all about tooth water?
Probably appreciates that I was so concerned about dental hygiene.
She actually would, yes. She would be pumped to hear that.
Right.
What are your thoughts on hot dog pasta flavored tooth water?
We're about to find out.
You've seen all these like weird toothpaste and floss flavors now, like bacon flavored floss and
Oh.
There's
I didn't know that.
whatever. If you'll buy it, I don't care. Use what you want, man.
I don't buy it.
Do
I
what you
take it
like.
from Doc's office.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just saving water.
Tooth water.
No.
Are you reusing the tooth water? Like, is it like multiple brushes?
No.
It was just a bottle
Community
of-
tooth water.
I wouldn't put it past Bevo, but no, I would not.
That's
No,
some
that's
hippie shit
gross.
right there.
All right. Well, let's see what Tim writes in about hot dog water. A few weeks ago, I was listening to the session, and he started making fun of Bevo, saying she was so redneck that she used hot dog water to make her mac and cheese. Well, that got me thinking. Is there a benefit to using hot dog water?
Oh, no.
For everything.
So, I made 2 batches of Kraft mac and cheese. One with plain tap water, and one with 6 cups of water used to boil 8 hot dogs. He says, go big or go home. Using a Brulosophy-inspired triangle test, I was able to determine the different sample made with hot dog water in each of the 2 trials. Overall opinion is it's like bay leaves. There's nothing wrong with the end result when you leave it out, but including it provides an extra depth of flavor.
Suck my balls.
Share
Picture of the triangle test.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
They look the same.
They look the same.
The cups.
The triangle.
Non-hot dog water.
Okay. Oh, yeah, let me see the hot dog water.
Hot dog water.
Okay, and it's clearly
hot dog.
cloudy as fucking chunks of hot dog in it.
Yeah, all those nitrates and stuff.
So there you go.
Are you saving the hot dog water overnight, or is this for the same meal? I don't understand.
I think it's the same meal, Warren.
Okay.
Probably a triple blind test.
How many
Nobody
hot dogs
knows.
Eat hot dogs with mac and cheese. You know.
Well, I just put the hot dog in the mac and cheese.
Yeah,
I saved the water.
He did 8 hot dogs.
8
in
hot
his
dogs
water.
or
8 hot dogs.
Whatever the water.
It was 6 cups of water.
6 cups of water.
And 8, he was very scientific tasting.
Excellent.
And 8 hot dogs. And the result, he says, is a tastier mac and cheese.
Well, it has a different flavor, a discernible flavor.
He said an extra depth of flavor.
Correct.
I guess are his exact.
Yeah.
Not bad.
There are more flavors.
I like how we akin it to bay leaves.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't say like dank hot dog water taste.
I think his reference there was the effect of bay leaves on any recipe.
Yeah.
Where you're not really going to notice if you don't put it in.
Right.
But you will notice an extra something if you do.
By the way, speaking of bay leaves, totally off topic. Did you happen to see that social media kerfuffle from Chipotle, where a bunch of people were finding chunks of bay leaf in their rice?
Oh, no.
In their burrito. And it was, not white people, but it was mostly white people complaining on social media, hey, I just got a burrito from Chipotle and I found a leaf in my food. What is this? And it's like, it's a fucking bay leaf, right? It's a spice. These people had no idea that, I don't know, apparently it's really hard for people to know what a bay leaf even is. So I was
not like they
proud
found
of Tim.
a finger in there or something.
Yeah. Well, then people were complaining about the people complaining. I'm like, but they're right. Leaf is in the name. It's a leaf in their thing. I don't know. Bay leaves.
I feel like he missed
love them or hate them.
The perfect opportunity to use the word wienery as a description of how the hot dog water tastes.
Yeah. Well, he's not very smart.
Man, this next one's rough.
Okay. And?
Oh,
another vitriolic
long one?
Something like a riff.
Yeah.
Are you going to eat all the way through without ranting?
No, it's not that kind of rough. I'll read it. Is it your notes in parentheses, or that's okay? Because I just wondered if he called it what it is.
No.
All right, this is from Mark. I'll read it. We like to read feedbacks. Hey, Brewcasters, I just wanted to drop a line and say thank you for being a great source of entertainment and distraction during the last 2 months from hell. My father-in-law passed away from the standard cancer battle that happens so much these days. And while sitting with the funeral director, I learned that a real true cobber, which is Kiwi slang for good bastard friend, had also died from cancer. So a friend of his died same time. Jaco from Fiasco Brewing in Christchurch, New Zealand, lost his battle with cancer at the age of 33. He wasn't just a great friend, but a mentor and hero to many in the brewery community here. He said, it still hurts to write this. Then, a month later, wifey left me when she couldn't deal with the depression from losing her father.
1 month?
Yeah.
Huh.
So he says, so now I'm a grieving 37-year-old living with Mum. I'm making up excuses with Tinder dates to explain why we can't go back to my place.
Tinder dates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tinder dates.
I thought you said dinner dates. I'm sorry.
No, I heard
Tinder.
Tinder.
Definitely Tinder.
Google car sex.
Dude, a month after.
Google car sex.
There's got to be something. She was ready to leave before that, I'm sure.
That
But
was an
like
excuse.
a month? Damn, girl.
Yeah, that's rough. So he says, I'm chilling here, I'm chilling there while saving funds to move to town to finally follow my passion of brewing and getting into the industry which doesn't exist in Marlborough. It's nothing but wine here. So, he says, your archives helped a shitload as I drove over 621 miles, or 1,000 kilometers, in trips to funerals and job interviews, until I got the unofficial show from 2008 and the birth of Casa de la Muerte. And I spent 3 hours driving while crying like a bitch. Which, of course, was the show where both Schumann and my dad had died, and we spent 3 hours on the air being completely inappropriate, and invented the grieve job.
The grieve job, yes.
Which, I still believe in today.
Yeah.
Becca called me and offered me a grieve job right
She
after
did?
my mom died.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gave myself a couple grieve jobs after my mom died. I know that's
Solo
not how they work, but I'm getting older now.
This
I
one's
can't
for
be
you,
bothered.
Mom. Fine. Yeah, calling your shots.
I just couldn't be bothered. Thinking about you, Mom.
Yeah. Always in my heart.
Oh my gosh, stop.
This shot's for you. Anyway, this was supposed to be a thank you for all I've learned, all the entertainment and the companionship during these hard times. And I guess since I don't have to feed the kids anymore, I'll start donating and finally get over to the Bay Area for a holiday where I hope to be.
Your loss is our win.
See, there's that Kiwi spirit that
Yeah.
we know and love. There's the
Right.
bright side. You don't have to
Always.
take care of them damn kids anymore.
Keep it posy.
They got a lot of sheep there.
Oh, are those the kids? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
he didn't say.
Those are goats, Warren. Jesus.
Most holes.
This isn't from the Mark that we know. No, Mark's Australian, not New Zealand. So
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty close. All right, Mark. Well, hey, thanks for writing in. Good luck to you. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
What are you going to do?
I just heard the good part at the end.
Was there a good part?
Yeah. He doesn't have to, like,
Right,
spend money on the kids, and he can come out here to the Bay Area.
Yeah, he start hanging out with us. Doc will hang with you any day.
Oh,
man.
hell yeah.
Come on
Sure.
out and take you to the strip clubs, and your grief will be gone for 4 hours in no time.
Oh, yeah.
Till the next morning.
As long as 4 hours.
Yeah. All right. That's our feedback for today, brought to you by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out and support our sponsors. Also, before we take a break,
yes,
you guys remember our friends over at White Labs, don't you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Did you know White Labs added 16 new strains to the vault for homebrewers?
Dude, where are they getting these strains from?
Well,
the vault.
Yeah, from the vault. Visit whitelabs.com/the vault. Place a pre-order for one of the strains, and once it hits 150 orders, you'll get the strain shipped right to your door. But there's more. Now you can purchase specialty strains from the vault straight from homebrew shops. 2 different pre-selected strains will be available at retail locations every 2 months. So this way, there's no wait for pre-orders to hit. Just visit your local homebrew retailer and pick up the strains. Keep an eye out for WLP 616 Funky Cider Blend and WLP 059 Melbourne Ale. Those will be... Oh, actually, you just missed those. Those were going to be July and August. But check out any of their new strains every 2 months at a local retailer and go to whitelabs.com/the vault and check it out. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Probably got to get Steve out of here for his...
Get out!
For his
Sorry for lingering.
No,
Yeah.
we're happy to have you. Hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Grog tags aren't just for labeling your home brews to hand out to your friends. They're the perfect way to round out your personal brewing marketing. Bringing your latest beer to a funeral? Craft a metal sign to go with it. Heading out to little Liam's bar mitzvah? Grog Tag custom bottle caps are awesome. Couldn't get out of jury duty this year? Grog Tag the hell out of the deliberation room with reusable labels. Grog Tag has an awesome array of products just waiting to be customized by you. Metal signs, coasters, tasting mats, bottle caps, tap handles. It's all there waiting for your designs at Grog Tag. Liven up your next party with the widest selection of custom products ever offered by a sponsor of the Brewing Network. Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
This is Matt Brynolfson from Firestone Walker Brewing Company, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks to Cloudburst Brewing out of Seattle. We had Steve in here hanging out with us, which was a good time. And
yeah, it was fun, man.
Good beer.
Mellow dude. You gotta love a mellow dude.
Yeah, exactly. I like the mellow guy. It makes me calmer. You know, not like you fucking assholes.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I think I'm pretty calm.
Pretty stoned.
I'm
pretty calm.
Yeah, that's true. Beardy is calm. You can keep cussing at him, and he's just like, "What?
Did you say something?"
Whatever.
I don't even know what you mean.
Are you done yet?
Hey, don't forget about Neshaminy Creek.
Never do it. Never.
Go listen to that show, Neshaminy Creek, too. It was a good one and a good time. Neshaminy Creek Brewing has been on the Philly beer scene since 2012 and just recently took home their 4th Philly Beer Scene Magazine Award for Brewer of the Year. So that's 2014, 15, 16, and 17. And they're third for Brewery of the Year. So they're killing it over there in Philly. 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager winner. 2013, they got the gold, and in 16, they got the bronze. It's coming up again now. They also got the bronze for their smoke lager in 16 as well. So they got a large, expanded, and recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating and seasonal limited beers. So also a variety of beer styles, from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable to poundable lagers. Also oak fermented saisons and sour beers. You name it, it's all mixed in there. So free brewery tours on Saturdays. You can go check it all out at NeshemeneCreekBrewing.com. Good guys over there.
That's right.
So, Jip, you got a game for us.
Yeah. So a little background about it. I was combing through beer news, trying to get some beer news, but I thought, this might be much more fun. There's a company called Mind's Eye Brewing out of Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay.
It's a brewery started by, which I thought was interesting, a former psychologist/home brewer turned pro brewer.
Okay.
All
Just,
right.
I had to let that process.
Right. As one will. For fun, he developed a Rorschach test to gauge a beer drinker's susceptibility to crafty marketing. Right? Crafty, not craft. Right?
Interesting.
Very strange. So I printed out some here.
Of course you did.
And I want to show Jay. And I'm going to compile the results. I have the the thing here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't see. And I just want to see, how marketing savvy you are.
I am. Okay.
Yes.
What's this test called?
It's a Rorschach test.
What's
The ink blot test. Yes, the ink blot test. And
great for radio too.
So, we have a video.
Okay, good. Good.
And Jay, I'm assuming I'm going to show these to you, and you're going to just describe what you see.
Okay.
Out of the ink blot, and then I'm going to take notes, and we're gonna go from there.
And then after I tell you what I see, I can take it and hold it up to the camera.
I'm working with Bev, so I got it right here.
You already got it. Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
We're all over this.
Nice.
You don't have to act.
Look at you guys.
Right.
Producing a show.
Yeah, you would think.
It's happened once.
Yeah. So are you ready for this?
Right now.
You ready for this?
Okay. So, and then, unless there are other rules you're going to give me, basically I'm supposed to tell you what I see. There's no questions?
No.
Oh.
I hold it up, the ink blot, and then you tell me what you see in the ink blot.
Okay.
And the first thing, so it's very, okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the first one.
Okay.
We'll hold it up there so the camera can see it.
My dead mother.
Of course it is.
No, okay. Bevo? No.
A double wide?
I see a moth.
A moth.
Yeah.
I'll sit around there.
Okay, fine.
A moth. Okay, so that is number
Never understood
one.
these because it's not like the ink blocks ever represent anything but a moth.
But when they do represent something, that's when they know something about
It's
you.
called
Right.
a pattern.
I see.
Okay, here's the second
Your
one.
pattern.
A naked chick holding groceries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that too.
A naked... okay. Naked...
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely that.
Are you sending these back to the brewery?
This guy's fucking nuts.
No. He has like a spreadsheet or something on his website.
Okay.
It's a thing. He's I don't know, fucking psychologist, man. Here's a third one.
I know what that is.
Warren.
I don't know. Pangea gone bad.
Really?
Okay. Pangea gone bad. Okay. Here is the last one.
Hell. I'm seeing hell.
I'm so screwed.
What is it?
No, seriously, that's what I see as hell.
Yeah.
It's a baby, a fetus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hell.
Yeah.
Same.
Is there something more? Is this
Oh,
your
you're gonna have a baby.
Is
Yeah.
this your baby?
That's my
JP?
baby.
Oh, how cool.
So hell for you. I was right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, JP.
Oh, thank you, man.
That's
good news.
I mean, I have to think about this. Hang on. A lot of
Put it back
emotions.
up.
Don't say what you think.
I have a lot of emotions going on right
No wonder they bought a house.
now. First of all, it looks like a baby you would produce.
Right.
Kind of weird and
non-formed.
And yeah, like one leg sticking
white,
out.
bloody.
I don't know what that is, or is that its wiener?
That means it's a boy.
This is an actual ultrasound? Is that what it's called?
Sonogram, I
Thank
think,
you,
is
sonogram.
like it's like on a thing, and they shove it in the vaginal. It's not just like over the belly.
It's a probe.
It's different.
It's a probe.
It's a probe.
So,
which
Inside
longer and thicker than my wiener, and it made me feel very uncomfortable.
So basically, where I'm sitting
Guarantee it
is
made Karen
your wife's
uncomfortable.
vagina, like sort of where my head is.
Yeah, literally
Compared to this
straight.
probe.
Yeah, straight up. So those two dark blobs on the either side are her bladder, and that's like piss in her bladder. And so right there, that's the bladder, like compressing because the probe was like my foot. It was huge.
Wow.
I mean, comparatively to my wiener.
So Taryn had a good day.
She wanted another one.
Yeah. Can you just leave it there, please?
And leave the room.
Turn the vibration up.
Both of you.
But the rest of it looks like a peanut with a deformed leg.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the umbilical cord, apparently.
Oh, I see.
And so this was like 3-4 weeks ago.
Wow.
So apparently now it's the size of a lime.
Okay.
And its fingers are no longer webbed, which I was very disappointed. And I mean, if everything's on track, right?
Well, that can be
Kaiser
fixed.
sends you.
You get a
Right.
college scholarship with webbed hands. I swear.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like,
Might
move
still be
over,
webbed.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Do you know what it is yet?
No, and we're not going to find out.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to go the whole, 1600s. Like who can tell?
Is there a point to seeing it this small? Like what did?
No, just to confirm.
medically?
Just to confirm that it's there
And attached.
Yeah, and attached is really what it
That
is.
she's
yeah.
not just full of shit and claiming.
Oh, so you were
sickness.
fact checking her?
Yeah, it's fact checking her.
But with the size of that probe, that means it's going to be an only child now.
Yes, it's going to be an only child, which I was a little disappointed in, to be honest with you.
Now, you knew this. I hope you knew this comes with.
Oh yeah.
So
don't worry about it.
You choose your words wisely, will you, please?
Well, you not just passively,
Yeah.
but adamantly,
Yeah.
absolutely no children
No
ever,
how, no
ever.
way.
Forget it.
Right.
Never. No way. Fuck no.
Right.
I'll admit you said the same thing about marriage too. So there's
It's
already
true. There's a precedent for being
It's a slippery
but then
slope.
even after
it really is.
even after that one. So
Yeah.
my question is different than you think. I think anyway.
Okay. You don't know me.
Did you? I knew you were full of shit. By the way.
Okay.
Did you know? Like, did you know? Like, I'm going to say this because it's what I do, but really, some part of me knows I'm going to probably have children one day. Or did you mean it back then?
No, I meant it.
You did.
I meant it, and even when Taryn and I started dating, I told her like I don't want kids, ever. It's not in me. I don't really care about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
so who's
you
the
meant
father
it back then?
We don't know yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
We're waiting for the whole UPS, FedEx, mailman tests to come through.
You have to comb the security camera to see who's been to the door.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
And I don't know what changed. I think it's going to sound sappy, but like being married and being with her and being married, like I didn't want to get married either, but I was like, well, I can't imagine my life without her.
Right.
She really wants it. It could be pretty cool, and I'm usually kind of risk adverse sometimes, so let's go ahead and do it.
I see.
And then
so
we're
at
talking
first
about
it was like. So first of all, the thought change happened after marriage, not prior to.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then at first it was, well, it's a worthwhile compromise because I don't want to lose my wife.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't pushing marriage or whatever because I had told her I don't really care about it. But it was, I don't know. It sounds very like clinical, like I had a spreadsheet and came to the conclusion the root would equal marriage, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it felt like once I came to that conclusion, like I don't want to be without her.
Yeah.
That then let's go ahead and get married, and ever since then, like we've come closer, which I sound like a daytime talk show now. And then just talking about kids because I promised her I would always keep it on the table. Like I would always be willing to have a conversation about it with her. And then it didn't seem like as much of a hindrance, or I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with me. Well, we're both turning 40 this year.
Oh yeah.
And I think
a lot of you guys.
Yeah, and I think that there's something about your own mortality and what kind of legacy you're going to leave behind, and that kind of thing. And I think maybe that made me soften up a little bit.
That's interesting. I didn't see that coming.
Well, the biological clock.
Well, nobody did.
Probably, yeah.
Different Twitter game. Good thing Kenny never listens to the show.
You spend more time around young kids too. The more you do that, the more you can see yourself actually being a parent, right? I mean,
I have
that, right?
Yeah, I mean, my whole family is, my brothers are much older, so I've been, I've been around kids forever.
But your current friends have shown you what it's like to have kids.
That's true, yeah.
That's true. But also, so I was going to go there too, Tasty, and in a different way, and that is
what you doing?
Window shopping at Disneyland.
That you're dumb, JP.
I'm an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
And here's why. Now, I don't. I think all of the things you're saying are not only true but accurate.
Yeah.
But here's where your stupidity comes into play.
Okay, tell me.
You love children. You always have.
Right.
You're great with them. I have not seen many people so good with kids as you are. Which, by the way, doesn't mean automatically that you're going to have kids.
No, right. Kids love clowns, and clowns are crazy.
Other people,
they don't love clowns.
But it's so great. I'm telling you, the way he relates to children, like you've always been great with them.
Yeah, I'm psychologically repressed.
So what I'm saying is, you have allowed the other things to come into play, and you just kept in your. I don't know what. You just ignored that side or just decided, well, that's just because I like kids. I have fun with kids and I don't ever want them.
Right.
However, subconsciously, a person who's that good with children and enjoys them that much, otherwise you wouldn't be that good with them because you truly enjoy kids. In other words, it was fucking obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it was really like I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed being able to just go play video games. I mean, Destiny 2 just came out, and that's what I've been doing lately. I got a lot of shit to do.
So you have 6 months to beat it? How much longer do you have?
No, I've already beaten it. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole thing.
See, now you got to feed kids and diaper kids and still play video games.
Well,
yeah, but they sleep a bunch for the beginning, so I feel like your video game action will actually go better for a little while.
I think it'll be great.
And then it will go downhill when they start to stay up more.
Yeah, and to be honest, I see some of my friends who have older kids, and they play games together, and they interact and kind of teaching your kids about video games and music and shit like that, shit that I'm kind of interested in. I think that would be really cool.
Will be.
True. And then it's also let's try not to raise an asshole thing, right?
We all start that way.
Plus,
it never works out.
It never goes well.
I don't know.
I'm going to be the best parent ever.
It was weird, dude.
You'll never need an excuse to stay home again. Like
that's what people have been telling me. Yeah,
now you're like, oh my god, no one's even going to call me out on it.
It's going to be amazing.
Of course, I'm staying home. I have a baby.
I don't get invited out now anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's you're right. I think it's. I don't know, man. It was when that switch finally tripped. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then when we started going through this whole hey, we might actually be pregnant thing, and it was fucking weird.
Oh man.
And then when we went to this fucking appointment, and I'm in the I'm in the room, and I'm like, what the fuck? At first, you go in. I went, took Taryn to an appointment, and she goes in first, and you're in a waiting room full of pregnant women.
Right.
And you're a dude, and you're sitting there reading Pregnancy Today, and which belly bands are the greatest, and how not to clench your nip, or whatever the fuck, right? And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I'm the only dude. Yeah, and people, trying to hide it. There's no pillows.
Yeah.
And people are looking at me. In my mind, I'm going, do they think I'm in the wrong place? Do they think I'm that stupid where I'm, waiting for a colonoscopy?
Yeah, you're like, this isn't a puppy adoption clinic?
Shit.
Haven't you seen Junior?
And you're thinking the whole time, where are the other dudes?
I'm thinking, where are the other dudes?
Yeah.
What are these? I mean, these women are fucking pregnant.
Yeah, why were you there?
Yeah.
It's not even a thing yet.
I don't know, because it's the first thing, and
you were
warned
in high school that this might happen.
Yeah, it's true.
He wanted to see the size of the probe.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Good dudes, yes. It's time to do.
But like being there when they inserted the probe
When they probed her?
in, and I was like,
doing?
that's weird. And then seeing it happen on screen, it was like a scene from Inner Space or whatever. It's just like there was like nothing on the screen, then suddenly there was like a mass, and the mass was moving. I'm like, oh, that's all vagina. That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, this
Now
is
you
good
can
practice
see
for
where
the delivery.
see what goes on. in there.
Oh, this is what my dick sees.
Yeah.
The third eye.
Dick view.
It was
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Warren.
That's
was
what your
nice.
dick saw.
Right. And then
until it's time for another baby.
Right. And then seeing it like on screen, and then they listen to the heartbeat, which is always like fucking weird sounding and very fast. And I was like, I don't know. I got creeped out for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to come around to it now, though.
Amazing.
I'm starting to get a little
Actually
excited.
It's a miracle, actually.
Well, now you don't just have to think about yourself dying all the time. You
That's
have
true.
a new thing to have anxiety about.
Trust me.
A whole new layer of
I already have, man. Like when Taryn gets stressed out, I go like, "Hey, Taryn, calm down, because you got to think you're stressed out for 2 now."
Oh, you're gonna go full Schumann on her. I fear. Where? Oh my gosh, Schumann. When Nikki got pregnant, was just. Are you sure you should be eating that? You're pregnant now. Studies show.
Oh, I would kill him. I would
and just
kill
all
him.
the way to, like every little thing. Are you sure you should be doing that? I mean, it's my baby too. And I was like, oh gosh.
I tell her you better.
No, we can't watch that movie. It's too excitable. So much anxiety. The kids wouldn't like that.
Right.
Well, and we went to
I could have
Disneyland.
gotten you another cat. I mean, you should have just asked.
20 cats.
We went to Disneyland 2 weeks ago for we signed up for a run, like a 5K.
Oh, God.
And the doctor said it was fine, and she ran, 10 weeks pregnant.
Wait, you said we, and then you said she ran.
Oh, we ran,
okay,
but she also ran as well.
She ran with the baby. He didn't have one, did he?
That's right, yeah. I had a butt baby. I had to poop real bad.
There's a whole different word to the
baby.
Yeah, right.
Different meaning for the word we.
That's true.
We all run as a family.
That's true. She ran.
You do get now infinite opportunities to go to Disneyland, too. That's
look at that.
Yeah, if we can afford it, that'll be great.
Well, you don't have to pay for the kid.
That's true.
Now you don't have to make excuses why the hell you're at Disneyland again.
Right. Well, yeah, that's
now
true.
you're going to understand. You're going to be one of those people you bitch about.
Stroller
with the
person.
stroller.
No, I'm not going to do it.
You're not
Stroller
gonna
buddy.
No, fucking. You don't need a stroller,
You're
dude.
going to papusa?
Yeah, why not?
Is that what it's called?
Be real, sure.
Yeah.
Front or
I
back?
think papusas are sandwiches.
When they're
No.
4?
Oh.
He's going to have a stroller.
Yeah, what about when they're 4?
Or maybe like a compact
Because
stroller.
of the baby junk that goes along with the baby.
Yeah.
There's so much baby junk.
I think
you
it'll be
have
fine.
to have a stroller.
Like a
the baby's not even in the stroller. You're holding the baby and the junk's in the stroller.
Abby's going to be 6. The next time we go to Disneyland, I'm still putting her in a stroller.
Oh, you baby her.
Oh, when they start fighting the stroller.
Oh, she's
I
lazy.
feel like I should probably cut Doc's pay to give you a
raise. I think so
raise.
too.
You know,
dependent coming.
What do you think, Doc? Should I cut yours by half or so?
Well, I'm just thinking, what are you going to do? I have any say so? What you're going to spend it on?
Yes. If I cut your $0 by
half a zero,
you can dictate how JP spends it.
Please.
Put it into college fund.
Yeah.
No, that's too far off. I'm taking a stroller fund or,
When's this kid
a
due?
therapist.
Late March.
Oh, March is a good
Should
month.
we do a thon?
We can do a thon.
We should do a Biena-thon for
Sure.
JP's baby-thon.
Some thon stuff.
Only if you make it thong
That
instead.
thon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's JP a thong.
It's good to have DD now, like a built-in DD for 6 months.
Fuck yeah. That, to me, by the way, is the
So
only
let's go wine tasting.
positive of this whole
Go to some
experience.
beer fest.
in
Until
my
she gets
assessment.
put on bed rest and can't drive you or you can't go out too.
And then in 16 more years, you'll have another DD.
Oh, yeah?
That's also true.
Yeah, I got to get Bryson's goddamn license soon. God. I get one more DD.
Kids. And Beardy, you're next.
Nope.
Her clock is ticking. It's ticked.
Candy doesn't listen to this show, so it'll be fine. Nothing happened at work today.
Well, she's on Facebook, though, and we had a really cute picture to post on Facebook about it, so...
boy.
Damn it.
It's going to happen. And honestly, like, after we found out, we were like, oh, Warren's going to get shit now.
Yeah. Well, when you move to Oakley, you have to make your own friends because no one lives out there.
You have to create them in a lab, yeah.
So as long as they don't move to Oakley.
She was pregnant before we moved, but after we started planning, so...
So March, huh?
Yeah, March 20. What this one says like?
Oh, Springfest is on the.
Well, March 16th is a good day.
Hang on, I got to think about myself here, JP. March 31st is Springfest. Hope you're available.
I didn't do anything this year, so I don't expect you to.
Doesn't matter.
Well, he was in the hospital for one already.
That's true. I can be in the 3/21. Apparently, is the due date.
It's in March.
That's close.
She'll be late. Because that's how it goes.
It'll happen on Springfest.
It'll happen on Springfest.
It'll be a little Springfest.
Spring break.
So,
that'd be a nice announcement.
You're saying I've missed my window to nail Taryn?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh.
I'm saying that.
Well, it'll be after the baby.
Can you wait
about 10 years ago?
Well, there is an early window, or you have to wait till after.
I see. Well, I'll decide.
I'll get back to you.
You let us know when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send an email. Bevo will send an email on my behalf.
A whole different marathon.
But I'll make sure I voice text it so there's no punctuation. It's all one, just run on paragraph.
I'll just be getting a Google Calendar invite.
To the sex or to the baby?
Yeah. No, to the sex.
Okay,
yeah.
That's it. Tuesday from 6 to 6:01.
On the
exactly.
On the BN calendar.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go in 30-second increments.
Like I said, different marathon.
Well, you need foreplay.
Yeah, isn't that good for pregnancies at some point?
Foreplay?
Sex.
Or just have a baby.
I don't know. I guess it's more protein for your body to absorb. I don't know.
Ew. Can we not talk about protein and your baby?
All right.
I mean, you made that thing.
That's true. So I told.
Wait. We haven't established that yet either.
We don't know.
That's true.
On our Disney show on Ears Up, you can find it earsuppodcast.com.
Yeah.
We told Terrence we do a secret show for our Patreon people. He left the room. He was so verklempt, but he never actually bawled like he likes to say.
Wow.
But anyway, we told him in much a similar way, like I made up a fake news story and whatever. And he goes, can I just be honest with you? I'm like, sure, Terrence, why not? He goes, I'm glad this is happening because I thought you couldn't have kids because a couple years ago Becca was asking you, me, when are you going to have kids? And you told her, well, how do you know I can?
Oh, because you were fucking with her.
Yeah, and then apparently I had said I went to the doctor and got checked out, and I can't actually have kids, so please stop asking me about it. It actually hurts my feeling.
Oh, my God.
And he goes, and for the last 2 years, I thought that, and I've been trying to, figure out a way to ask you about if your dick works.
He's such a pussy.
I know, and I'm like, bro, you got the same thing for 10, 12 years before you had your first litter.
Right.
You get tired of hearing people go, when are you going to have kids?
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, but
people stopped asking me. If you hold out long enough, they do stop.
People stop.
They finally go, oh, fuck. He really does hate children. He's not having kids.
You do not hate children.
I just hate that question.
I don't hate your child. That's about it.
You don't hate mine either.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
Are they really children? I think they're just adults.
Yeah, they're man-child.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah. That's different. JP's kid will probably be cool.
It'll be probably cooler than me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's cool, though.
Right.
No, cooler than me.
Yeah.
It's still pretty not cool.
I think your kid will be pretty cool.
I think it'll be fine.
No.
He'll survive.
It'll survive, yeah.
I do remember the time in your living room when my boys were over there. It was a pre-party thing, and they come running out in your living room having a dildo fight. In your living room.
Funny enough, I actually also remember this evening.
Oh, good old Uncle Justin.
I was like, bam, bam, bam. Like,
check out these swords, Dad.
They're like Nerfs.
Giant double-sided dildos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was also the time where they were playing with the electric wheelchair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ramming into things.
Ramming into things, yeah. I never got charged for it. It's fine. Well, I don't say other than congratulations, JP.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man.
I think that this was your destiny anyway.
Oh.
And I'm happy for you. You guys are going to be you're going to be great parents despite what you'll be a, you've heard us say this for years when you said, what I've been through. I don't want to be a dad. Fuck all that. You're going to be just a great dad. You're going to be one of the best dads we've ever seen. I'm sure of it.
Are you pulling from Trump now?
It'll be fabulous.
You'll be a huge dad.
You'll be a huge dad.
One of the best dads ever. No, I appreciate it. I think it'll be a good
It'll
time.
be a big league dad.
Yeah.
It will be a good time. You'll have fun with it too. Not in the beginning. God,
no.
Yeah,
you poor fuck. But
first-
after a little while, you'll
like
probably
the 20 years up to like 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
No, what is it like? By 3 or so, it'll be fine again.
Yeah, as long as he can string together subhuman words, I'm okay.
No,
Yeah.
as soon as they start understanding your jokes, you'll be fine.
Right. As long as they still almost puke when I fart.
Right.
Well, you're going to find that one out pretty soon.
That's
I'm good.
guaranteed.
That makes sense.
All right, good.
I mean, totally makes sense. Wow, well, that was a surprising twist to a game. Well done, JP.
Thanks,
Let me go in
man.
there.
I kind of wanted to know
What about
the
his
interpretation of my other.
yeah.
I still.
Whacked out, right?
I mean, can it be about me again for a second?
Hey, we can keep going. I got another
You
one.
did have more.
What is that one?
That one looks like Bevo ready to shoot us with machine guns.
Let me see it.
Yeah, it does.
I see a baby.
That looks like ovaries.
No, the other one before.
These two look like
ultrasound
babies.
Those look like
Yeah.
babies.
Like twins.
Those are babies.
Those look like your
Alien
deformed
babies.
twins
Bad
that you were
babies.
having.
I've got babies under mine.
I was in when we were getting this, checkup or whatever. I was like, so when do the horns come in?
Yeah. And the doctor's like,
She's like, so anyway, this is where the thing is. I'm like, oh man.
Does he have to come to all the appointments?
It's a midwife, apparently. We're back in the fucking 18th century.
Oh, so you have 1.5 wives now.
That's how we do it.
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break. I can't promise we won't have more baby talk when we get back.
Yes.
So many questions.
Might not be human babies.
Shocking, so shocking.
The next 9 months are going to be consumed. I feel like we
6.
need it. I feel like we
6 months.
Because she's 3 months.
Right.
I think she's
Yeah,
3
you don't
months.
tell people right
Saturday.
away.
Yeah.
Well, that was
March
my
is
thing
6.
too. Like we were talking about it in weeks. Like how far along are you? 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, and we can't tell anybody after 12 is usually.
Oh, yeah.
And then so in my mind, I had to stop going. Okay, 12 weeks. So now we have 9 months to wait. I had to remember that time served.
Yeah.
It's already 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
So I clinched a little bit when I remembered that.
I feel like we're going to need a semi-regular
Should have
segment,
clinched the first time.
called "How Fucked Is JP," and talk about the different ways that your life has become.
Oh,
We could
God,
do
there
that.
should be a segment every week.
I'll bring the thing in every
We've
Monday.
done it before the pregnancy.
That's true.
We should have Terrence bring in one of his kids, and we could have a lesson, a parenting lesson.
Oh my god, a parenting lesson
With
from
JP,
Terrence the
yeah.
Black and
Wow,
JP.
on what not to do.
Yeah. Well, if you want to learn what to do, go get How to Brew 2017. It's time to replace that dog-eared copy of John Palmer's How to Brew. Our friends at Brewers Publications have published the 4th edition of How to Brew, and it's essentially a totally new book. The 4th edition clocks in at 600 pages, and every chapter has been updated and expanded, and there are 5 totally new chapters, too. So whether you want simple, surefire instructions for making your first beer, or you're seasoned homebrewer working with all-grain batches, this book has something for you. Ingredients and methods to recipes and equipment for brewing beer at home. How to Brew is loaded with valuable information and brewing techniques. And recipe formulation, too, by the way. Grab your copy at your preferred beer book vendor or buy it from the Brewers Association store. And if you want to get the book and support craft beer at the same time, definitely buy it from the Brewers Association store. More info is at brewerspublications.com. Just check it out. All right, we're going to take a quick break and lament
Yeah.
Take it all in.
JP's new life. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending Mash and Boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to bruise their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. At the end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out. What? Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love. With love? Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where? Moylan's. You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer. Cheers! Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
Hey there, BN Army. Have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American meat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
You're tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Yes. Hey, go to craftbeer.com. Check out their brewery finder. More than 5,000 breweries in the U.S. and craftbeer.com brewery finder, published by the Brewers Association, has them all. It's the most robust U.S. brewery finder. Whether you're traveling or exploring your own city, you can find breweries by current location or search in other states. You can find directions and contact info straight from the brewery finder. You'll also find brewery social handles on the brewery finder, so you can keep on the latest news from your favorite breweries. So visit craftbeer.com, check out the brewery finder. There really is no other extensive resource like that that you can just find it all in one spot. Check out craftbeer.com brewery finder. All right. We don't have a whole lot left to do, boys.
No, we got Twitter game.
Do we have a real game to play?
No, we don't.
Well, the Twitter game's real.
Well, yeah,
another, but not a baby announcement.
So what was our Twitter game?
The Twitter game was how do we shock you guys back into normal society, society.
Yeah.
After Burning Man.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. And how did our listeners do?
They did pretty good.
Okay.
They did pretty good.
Seems like a tough one.
I think it was, but everyone rallied. So here we go. Mitch says, nothing like a mortgage payable only with American greenbacks. # no trades.
Yeah, that's true. Came back to some bills.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Tony D says, do an update on the death pool standings. That sure seemed to crush some spirits last time.
I was fine. After the
Me too. I felt great.
Yeah.
I won.
That's true. Bubbles 8590 apparently said, set something on fire and have Doc run through it. It worked well for the other guy.
Well, the other guy didn't get through it.
And did it really bring him back? Yeah.
Well, Topher Tom, I don't know, says, make them all work on cleaning the Dyson hand dryers in the Hop Grenade bathroom.
Well, no, that'll just make me want to leave.
Tristan says, do another website update.
Oh, that sounds like work.
That will definitely whip me back into
right and back into the real world,
the old groove or rut, whatever that was.
Still not even done with that one, actually. So yeah, so you have no idea how true that is,
right? Rob Spire says, strip them naked in the middle of Salvio Street and tell them to run home. Give them a 5-minute head start before you call the cops.
Actually, that's more like Burning Man.
Pretty much like
Sorry.
I'm going to do that to get home tonight.
And then lastly, Tim Conlon says, present Doc with this month's alimony statement, Justin with this month's Hop Grenade Fort Collins numbers.
Oh, God.
And tell Beardy Candy is pregnant.
Oh, shit.
That is a dose of reality.
So, if we're talking about realism, that one's the closest.
Oh, man.
Like
In fact, I feel like I'm here.
Yeah. All right.
Here I am.
I have a kid now.
Read it off once more just because Doc just walked in. Our winner of how to snap the three of us back into reality after Burning Man is...
to present this... God, why am I such a fucking retard? Present Doc this month's alimony statement.
Ouch.
Justin this month's Hop Grenade Fort Collins numbers.
Yeah.
And tell Beardy that Candy is pregnant.
That covers about all of it.
That's how we all got snapped back into reality.
Yeah. I think Tim wins then.
Yeah, that's a winner.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go, Tim. Good job, buddy. Oh, he did say # no hope.
That was cold and brutal, by the way.
Yeah.
Kicking the, you know what.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
If I get home and that's true, I'm going to be very upset.
Oh God, that's an understatement. That's Beardy.
You will see emotions from me.
That's Beardy very upset right now. You will see an emotion,
a big an emotion.
Oh, my vasectomy broke.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Beardy got a secret vasectomy.
Didn't we talk about it?
I thought we talked about going in on it together.
Together?
Yeah.
Which is a thing, apparently.
Really?
Like brosectomies.
What? Oh, wow.
Because you can get a discount or because you just do it
I think you get a discount and you just do it for, whatever.
I thought they just did that with gingers when they were born.
Automatically?
Yeah.
A little clippy.
They should, yeah. But I think they made that illegal.
Hopefully they did.
Oh.
We'll
back
find
in
out.
the 70s.
Oh, a decade too soon.
Yeah, you could no longer just cut off your gingers.
Oh,
it's too bad for Beardy.
Poor decision making on your guys' part.
Yeah, hey. You would have been on the other side of that protest.
You're
You'd
right.
been like, do not take this away. Oh man. Well, speaking of sex, Adam and Eve's determined to help you spice things up in the bedroom. And they're backing up that promise. So check this out. Go to adamandeve.com and you'll get 50% off almost any item when you enter offer code BNARMY at checkout. And that's for a good deal. In and of itself. But now, backed by popular demand for a limited time, you'll also get the free Big O kit. And who doesn't love the Big O? Adam and Eve's Big O kit includes their exclusive Climax gel and a mini vibrator, for your butt.
That's where they go, right?
Any hole you like.
I mean, that's...
Yeah. It's a massager.
Yeah. So now you've got a new way to get her... Oh, her. That's for her. Sorry.
Oh.
Now you got a new way to get her off.
Could be for her butt.
Our
Could
butt?
be for her butt, yeah.
Yeah.
Our butt, yeah. Our butt.
The butt.
If
you're worried about that stuff.
What girl wouldn't love that? By the way, I love how sometimes just reading the next sentence after we've gone off fits in perfectly. You'll also get your entire order sent to you for free. So hurry, take advantage of this limited time offer. Choose a new adult toy, a naughty movie, or almost anything else. And when you choose that, you'll get 50% off that item. And then free shipping, plus the Big O kit, which includes Climax gel and a mini vibrator. And you won't find this deal anywhere else. Except probably on another podcast. But this one helps us. So use offer code BNARMY, BNARMY, BNARMY at checkout. That's BNARMY at adamandeve.com. I still haven't officially shopped there myself.
Because?
I don't...
You're full up on butt plugs?
I don't buy the things in...
You usually go like first-hand shopping?
You rent them?
No. The chicks buy them.
Yeah, there's that, yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Like, I don't...
It's true. I mean,
don't buy the thing.
Generally, chicks come with their own...
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended, but they arrive with their own, toy chest.
They know I feel weird showing up with like a bunch of fucking dildos in my hand. And
Is this your flavor?
On the machinist.
Yeah.
But isn't that a bad thing when they show up with something that needs to spice up your life? And you're like, what am I not doing?
Already anticipating disappointment. Yeah.
I don't take it that way, actually. I could see that.
I'm talking about you, not me.
Yeah, then no, not at all. I'm always like, right on.
All right. Circus is in town.
They're just ensuring they have a good time.
That's right. I'm fine with that. And look, hey, we all fail sometimes. I get tired.
That's true.
Really?
No, a dildo with well-charged batteries is the perfect gift.
I agree.
I always got one wrapped up in my car ready to go.
You do? Wrapped up like a new...
got a bow on and everything.
Has it fell out of your glove box when the officer pulled you over?
Your birthday. Oh, I got a gift for you.
I love it. You never know when you're going to need that.
Does it have a tasty sticker on the outside?
On the wall, the wrapping paper's got little
Sure.
all over.
And you're right. How can you go wrong with that?
Exactly. Gift keeps on giving.
And, it's from the heart.
Yeah.
Did you actually get the tasty molded one? Is that what we're talking about here?
No. That's
just the wrapping paper.
That is a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but you can't tell them until after, right? Like, you give it to them, and then they come back and they go, Tazy, that thing you bought me. It could go either way.
It reminds me of you.
They can either say it was a little weird, or they can come back and say, it was the most amazing thing I've ever felt. And that's when you go, yeah, it's my mold.
It's my nose that makes it.
Yeah.
The nose.
You might have to have it branded. Not branded, but branded.
Yeah.
This is where Bevo's here. We give her shit about not getting a tour of the factory.
Right. When is that going to happen?
It is her
Probably
fault.
never going to happen.
I think it needs to happen.
I was almost going to North Carolina, and if I was definitely going to go by there and
Oh, yeah.
Tell them who the hell I am.
I just want to run up and down the racks, just looking at everything.
Just swatting the dildo.
Yeah, kind of knocking everything off the shelf.
Like when you run a stick down a fence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I imagine all the dildos are just straight up and down on racks.
They must be.
They have to be.
They probably are stored in the fleshlight.
It's not a
for space
retail place.
maximization.
They need to be stacked up horizontal because it's not a retail.
If you buy a dildo, if you buy a dildo and a fleshlight, it should come nestled together like that.
Yeah. No assembly required.
Just to save on shipping, really. Right. But the added bonus, that's how it comes. Yeah.
It's shipped in pairs.
Well, real quick, speaking of awesome things, Beersmith homebrewing software. You can go to beersmith.com, get your free 21-day trial. You won't be disappointed. And I really haven't heard anybody ever come back.
Nobody goes like, Beersmith, really? It's so lame. No, it's like, does everything. The only reason anything might be wrong with it is you're not smart enough to use it.
Well, exactly. But even that,
problem,
then there's all the video tutorials. There's the podcast. I'm actually not smart enough to use it, admittedly. So when that happened before with other software, which I also wasn't smart enough to use, this is not exaggeration, I called Doc every time. It would be Friday night at fucking 9:30 because, I don't start brewing
and
until
of course, he's already in the middle of the brew. No questions beforehand.
Yeah. Well, once I started
2 minutes
with
from the 60-minute edition, he wants to know how much.
All of these things. Once I started with the Beersmith, with the videos, and this also, I'm not exaggerating, I would get to those points where I don't know how to enter the next thing, and I would just go over to the beersmith.com, enter the problem I was having, and there's a fucking video for it.
Yeah.
Because Brad, it's his full-time gig, and that's one of the differences. Plus, he's just a real smart guy.
Really smart.
Put it all there. Really, the only reason he hasn't told me this is my assessment, the free 21-day trial, I would be so curious to find out the ratio of people that ever asked, who don't, then just get the free, get the version.
Right, yeah. What's the ratio of people who go
get
buy
the free trial and then don't buy the thing?
If you're seriously looking for that kind of software, you're going to buy that one.
You're going to buy it. So go check it out. Don't take our word. Go to beersmith.com right now, and you'll be happy you did.
Yeah. The gold standard.
Hey, the last thing I wanted to ask about, Tasty, I forget if you were in town because I thought maybe you were gone for the Eclipse. But did you go to the Drake's anniversary party?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was like the same day they had the Tasty IPA release at 21A for their anniversary party.
Okay, that's right.
And we talked about this last time a little bit. It was like noon to 6.
Yeah.
The Drake's event started at 5. So
Oh, man.
After a day of drinking 6.8% beer, followed by 4 pints of water, I made my way over to Drake's, and I went to that.
You did, and you hung out. And then it was a good celebration?
It was a great celebration. Well attended, great beers. It was a fun time.
All right, go to drinkdrakes.com, and you can get all the information about any upcoming events they have. One of my favorite breweries in the Bay Area of all time.
Yep.
And then, since we brought it up, so I went and picked up a little bit of beer from Sully for Burning Man.
Oh, good stop, yeah.
Before I left, and he gave me a 6-pack of the Tasty.
Oh.
So I took it with me.
Pretty hard to get.
It went right into my fridge. It hadn't been released yet.
Didn't make it to Burning Man, did it?
It did.
I didn't see it.
You did not. I shared it on our last work day. Everybody was done working and sitting around in the dark. It was when I was handing out fried chicken.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
You were
locked
away.
You were golden with that fried chicken. Though.
I was quite happy to hand out the fried chicken. Anyway, handed it out to a few beer lovers.
Special location. Oh, cool.
Tasty, it's a really good beer.
It's excellent beer. Couldn't be happier with the beer.
Now, you've done collaborations before, and
lots of them. Yeah.
Couple anyway.
And they're all.
I've been happy with every one.
They're all good in their own right, but some of them are not like a Tasty beer, and you know what I mean. Like it's not your brewery, like it's a commercial brewery.
Sometimes I'm brewing the style that they need for their lineup.
Yeah,
not like an IPA that I want to do.
And it's also sometimes just somewhat different than a beer I would taste off your homebrew setup. Yeah. Just rightly so.
It's a different brew house, a different kitchen. Yeah.
I'm being genuine here when I say I think the Tasty beer that came out of 2&A is the closest to a Tasty beer that I've ever had, commercially brewed. Sure, that's I don't know about your opinion, but my opinion is that that's the closest one I've had.
Yeah. What you're saying, I got up against the problem that I had at the beginning where the name of the beer and the artwork were already decided before we decided on a recipe. And I had to go like homebrew a recipe and come up. Sean and I sat down and talked about what we might do.
Okay.
And I went and sort of did that. And we sat down and tasted the beer, and I'm going like, this beer has to be freaking tasty. It's like it's everything about it. Like,
Yeah.
So
It is, and they did it right.
Yeah.
Now, that beer is... I hope you're getting a cut of this beer, Tasty. Are you getting a cut of this thing? You figured that out?
I'm getting a lot of
You
I'm
are.
getting a lot of social media coverage. Let's just say that. Just for what that's worth.
Here's why I asked.
Does it match your pay here?
You don't have to... Yeah, exactly.
No,
I hope...
I'm much
I
better
hope
paid
it
here.
far exceeds... Here's why I asked that. And it's whatever you did. But...
Yeah, go ahead.
That beer's going to fucking kill it.
Oh, it's
it's already killing it. And now, the label is cool. You don't even have to know who Tasty is. Now, I've always said this about the Hop
they
Grenade,
will.
right? Like the Hop Grenade logo, right? I don't actually have that ego where, like, you have to know it's associated with Justin Crosley. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. The awesome thing about the Hop Grenade logo was that you didn't even have to know who the Brewing Network was to like it.
Yeah.
The Tasty brand has the same thing, so it might not equal accolades for you, but I'm telling you, just that Tasty just goes across. It just spans, right? It doesn't matter who. In other words, it doesn't matter who you are.
The name and the shelf look seems attractive. Yeah.
So that'll look
for people that don't know any idea who I am.
Yeah,
it's still attractive.
But then here's just some metrics for you. We had the Tasty event here the night you guys did the show, right. And I guess Eric, and by your advice, by the way, I think, ordered like 6 or 8 cases of the beer. Now, and we never do that.
2.
We never do that. That's right. Normally, when we do these things, and the reason we normally get 2 is because that's about our market here. Sure. People don't buy that much beer to go. Well, you talked him into it, and thank goodness you did. 10 cases sold out on a Monday night like that.
Wow.
First night, yeah.
We haven't sold 10 cases of anything ever here. Okay.
How many did Tasty buy?
Good question.
I signed a lot of them, though.
So that was very cool. But then, not just that, the beer on tap, I believe...
Yeah, well, that's the next day. Next day, I think. A little bit.
Barely the next day. Which, again, we're talking about a Monday night here.
Yeah.
So not only is the branding super, but the beer is just really good,
happy with
man.
the beer. I was at...
I think you should be.
Sacramento last week, and we did 2 release events for it. And I was drinking 7, 8 pints a night. And, when I get tired of a beer, I get tired of a beer. But it's easy on the palate.
It is. Yeah. It is. And I mean it when I say, I just think it's the closest to a Tasty beer that I've ever had.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
Yeah, sure. Good. All right. Well, I just wanted to say that because I thought the beer was really good, and I brought it out at the perfect moment. It was the end of Burning Man. We had worked all day. We were all dead, and I was like, "Oh shit! I've got this 6-pack of Tasty," and because of it was refreshing and dry. It was 105 degrees all day that day. Came out great. So,
can I give Sully a plug if you don't mind?
Sure.
Let's see. The Tasty IPA is going to be poured tomorrow, Tuesday, at the Market Beer Company in San Pedro Square in San Jose. Wednesday night at Brass Taps in Vacaville, and at Zeitgeist on Thursday night.
Oh,
and then
perfect.
Following week on the 21st in Chicago at the Lynx Tap Room, and 22nd Friday will be at the Beer Temple.
Are you going to Chicago too?
I'll be there.
You're going to those ones
Sully
too?
and I will be in Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah, be Sully and I.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, safe travels, have fun, and go find yourself some Tasty on the shelves from our good friends over at the 21st Amendment, who, God, we have known for so long now,
Sure.
and it's great to see them. I don't know. I'm telling you.
I'm fans of theirs.
How crazy would it be if that becomes their 805?
Well, they get...
Wow.
It's a one-time shot by definition.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I just say it's a one-time shot. That's the series that it's in.
That they're only going to make it once?
No, I
call it bullshit.
doubt that. Yeah,
that's what they said about 805. They didn't say no. They didn't say that. They said whatever other bullshit. We'll only sell it in the 805 until it went fucking gangbusters, and now it's it has its own brewery.
It's 80 everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I do think the beer is that good, and we'll see what happens.
It's very good.
They shouldn't just put it on a shelf somewhere.
They're very, very happy with the beer.
Good. All right, you can go to 21st, I believe it's 21st-amendment?
Yeah, -amendment.com.
21st-amendment.com. Check out, and there's, I saw
go to there,
actually,
find some link, and you can see if it's going to be, put in your zip code, you can see if it's going to be in your area.
And the event list that Tasty just mentioned is on there, too.
Exactly.
So go check it all out. All right, let's get out of here, boys.
Yay.
Sounds good.
And girl. Talking to Beardy, of course.
Thank you.
All right, next week on the program, we've got Upland Brewing Company from Indiana.
Yeah, and Marshall from Brewlosophy will be joining us as well.
In studio?
Not in studio,
What
no.
the fuck? Why
he's
do
a
I
big
never
pussy
get
right
to
now.
see him?
Because he has a podcast now.
Right, he's too big.
Oh,
The limo, his Tesla limo that he bought from people donating to his podcast won't make it out here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll make him pay.
I saw him at, I want to say Firestone. He's different. He looks different than he sounds.
He has a
thought he was
hipster mustache on.
Yeah, I thought he was a big fat nerd.
No, he looks like a fucking douche with that mustache on, though. Don't tell him, though.
Well, he
probably would never hear
He
that.
doesn't look like the big fat nerd that he sounds like. And actually, he was pretty cool.
No, he's a good dude. I like Marshall.
He likes
He's a nice
karaoke,
guy.
though.
Why won't he come in here?
Because he lives in, like, fucking Modesto or something like that. Fresno, yeah. And he just, I don't know, he's a kid, and he just...
Why does he live in Fresno?
Any excuse
he's
to get
been
out
here
of Fresno,
before.
Yes.
Not while I was here.
You got to do.
Well,
he's
maybe
been
he should
here
be around
once
more.
before, yeah. I don't know. I asked him, and he goes, "No, I can't make it." I'm like, "Okay, well, that sucks because Upland makes some really good beers."
He's probably got a baby or something.
There's hot chicks at the bar right now. We got to wrap this up.
All right, let's go. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong. Just
look at that.
It's a different bar for a second.
You're gonna wrap one of them up?
Wrap it up.
Wrapped in plastic. All right.
All right, Upland and Brewlosophy next week.
It's going to be a good show. Probably a little long, too.
Thanks once again for holding down the fort while we were gone. I am here for the next couple weeks and excited about that. Then, of course, we're doing a show live from our Fort Collins location. So stay tuned to our social media and everything I can do to keep you abreast of those situations. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
2 breasts is better. 8 breasts is fine.
That's right. Congratulations again, JP.
Thanks, man.
Good luck with your new life.
Yeah.
It's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I feel like the middle of Alien when they like shoot the dead guy out into space and he just flips out into space. That's what I feel like you guys are doing to me right now.
Kind of. But only psychologically, because I feel like now, like you've been doing it anyway, but now you're like more apt to like keep showing up for work because you're fucked.
Yeah. I've been fucked for years.
It'll be an escape.
Yeah.
And then everything else around your life is just now fucked too.
Yeah.
But good. I mean, whatever.
You live in the chaos and it's fine.
No, it's all about life's all a bunch of changes.
Yeah. Fucky loves company.
It may be all chaos every time, but
a year ago, I never thought I'd be in this position, and 5 years ago, I never thought I'd be in this position. And to be honest with you, it feels good.
Well, when you have your 18th child,
fuck right, Terrence.
You keep saying I'm not that
shit.
Yeah.
When you're done building Little Grease over in Oakley.
I hope you become the cat lady of children. Like you just have,
my God,
17
Taryn doesn't make that much money.
Just laying around. You're just like, pass the fucking video game thing.
Right.
Handle thing.
Controller?
Bring me my cane.
Yeah.
Prop me up so I can play Mario Kart.
I'm going to kick your ass.
And then Destiny 12.
Kick your ass. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Let's get out of here, everybody. Thanks.
Everybody oot.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. We welcomed Steve from Cloudburst Brewing out of Seattle, Washington, in studio even. Check out all of his past, present, and future beers over at cloudburstbrew.com. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info, and follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew, Mac McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy, and the Great Beverly is crushing cyberspace like a burrito at Bevo1. JP thinks Twitter is dead, and you should follow him on Instagram at Major Jip. Today's show is produced by Bevo, and your host has been Justin. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does.